What is up, everybody? We are back. CP.
Hi. How are you?
Welcome to the second episode of Dead Air. I had some time on my hands. CP had some time on his hands. And my God, do we have stories to tell? I had a very interesting story, a little interaction going on with my neighbor this weekend. Those of you following me on Facebook got a little taste of that. And I thought, that might be a fun, little goofy topic to just go over for a little while. So what's up, everybody, on a Wednesday afternoon? We got Tom, White Tim, Mike, Angelo, Dale Strunk, old reliable Dale Strunk, Tom Roberts, Network 98. What is going on, everybody? Go ahead and pour on in. CP, what's been going on, man?
Not much. I just I got a new edited video coming out tomorrow.
Holy shit!
Edited. It's all produced and everything.
Oh, Christmas came early. Yeah, it's been about the same here. I've had a busy ass week. We're still waiting on the final stuff to close on this house. Speaking of neighbors, I get to cross my fingers that I'm improving my situation. I did my little unboxing the other day. I've had to chill out on the content that I've been producing, but I've been checking out Bly Manor, The Haunting of Bly Manor. That'll be coming out here very soon. And then full on road to 31 on 31, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. Uh-oh. We got Lindsay in the chat. Let me see. I don't see you either.
Oh, can we not see us?
Uh-oh. What's going on? Late again. What kind of low budget? So maybe they're just chatting around.
Oh, maybe you meant in the chat?
Yeah, probably. So to get off at the topic at hand, I'll let you start, CP.
Oh,
if you had a lot of good interactions with the people that you're forced to live next to?
You know what? It's weird. It's weird doing the neighbors. Well, you know, the sharing a space thing with people, because I was a homeowner. I did the dance, and you'd be surprised how much you can get away with in your own place with some space between you. I never thought of like sound and being interrupted and you know, doing something about my noise level and all that stuff until I came back and oh boy, these walls are thin. And they have a dog downstairs that has separation anxiety, that every time they leave, that fucking dogs just start to finish the entire time they're gone. Just yap, 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 yap. Yeah.
You're in an apartment?
I'm the second floor of a house.
Okay.
But the walls are just paper thin. And anytime they slam a door, or we call the daughter down there, we call her Heels, because it seems like she's just walking with tanks on her feet.
That's very weird too, because you're on the upper floor. Usually you would be the ones that are dancing around, pissing everybody off.
Dude, like their door is like right below where I am. I could feel it whenever they leave, because they fucking slam it. The funny thing was, a couple of weeks ago, one of the guy from downstairs was talking about something with the lawn, and then he said, "Oh, by the way, are you guys like moving stuff in the middle of the night?" I'm like, "What?" No.
Yeah, that's when we do all the moving.
Yeah, he goes, "It sounds like you're moving something." I'm like, the nerve. I've been keeping my mouth shut all this time, and you're am I moving stuff? No. No.
Yeah. I had a situation similar to that when we lived in our apartment. I always had really good interactions with my neighbors up until I lived with Holly. I don't know if she's my bad omen or not, but we moved into an apartment together, and it was us and then the two kids, which eventually became three. And we were in the second floor of a 3-floor sandwich. So we got noisy neighbors above us, and we got at first really good neighbors down below. And then, like, the last year we were there, maybe 7 or 8 months before we moved, the people moved in downstairs, and I mean, like, within a day, started bitching about everything. Everything. I remember I got home from work one day, and I was doing construction, so like I had picked up the kids, drove home. I barely even had my shoes off. And she started knocking on my door. And I was like, Who the hell is this? And I opened the door, and it's this lady. And she's like, "Hey, we're downstairs. That was really loud." And I was like,
"What?"
me entering my apartment, like what was loud. She was like, we just heard a lot of noise and I was asleep. And I was like, I don't know, maybe my kids were running into their room or something. I don't know. I just got home. Sorry. We'll try to keep it down. It won't happen again. And then that was a nugget of just a ridiculous 7 or 8 months to follow. It got to the point where she would come up for any little noise. She sent management to our door twice. She had told management, which got a notice put on our door. We had like an outdoor patio that was wood slats, so you would just kind of go out and you could look into the parking lot basically. But we used to let Jax, our dog, go out there once in a while and just kind of get some fresh air, come back in. But we had an area rug over it, and she had complained to management that we were letting our dog go outside to piss on the balcony, and it would just rain down into her patio. And I went to go talk to management that day, and I was like, come to my apartment, please. And I went outside and I showed them the area rug. I was like, do you see any piss stains? So luckily for us, management really hated them after a while. So they pretty much took the benefit of the doubt with us every single time. But it got to the point where they actually bought like some kind of a stereo or maybe a sound bar or something for the TV, and they had the sub right against the wall. Yeah. So anytime they were watching something, you could hear the walls rattle. Yeah. And it was rattling all the way to like 2 a.m. one time, and I got pissed, and I just got off the couch and I just jumped and went pow, pow, and just started slamming on the floor. They fucking hit it with the broom, and then I called the cops. That was the only time I've ever called the cops. Wow. Myself. And they were useless. They came in. They were like, "Oh, you guys are neighbors. You kind of have to learn to, you got to learn to live with each other, and you're only this far away." And we didn't hear anything. We placed our ear to the door, and like, okay,
put your gun away, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I had to interrupt your donut session.
Yeah, exactly. So they were no help whatsoever. And it was really funny because eventually, I guess they got tired of dealing with us and put in their notice and started moving out. And as they did that, we had already put in our notice to move out. So I don't never talk to them, but I kind of visually let them know with boxes as they were pulling all their shit out to move that we were right behind them. So it was like, you wasted your fucking time, but bye. Oh man. That was one for the books. Yeah. Didn't you have a while there too where like you couldn't even record for a while because they would complain about noise or something?
Yeah. So because of the dog, because of the daughter, especially, I mean, I'm letting the air conditioner go. I wouldn't consider this a recording day because it's too hot. The daughter, if they're running around, sometimes they argue. I've put up recordings on Facebook where I'm just sitting and all you could hear is them screaming downstairs, and it's on my lav mic, and I'm like, well,
those things have amazing range.
Yeah, they do.
It's fucking aggravating because I'll pick up shit that Holly's saying to the kids, and I'm like, "You're 30 feet away. What the hell? It's right here."
Yeah. So like you hear it, and then you're like, "All right, well, gotta wait." And turns out that they're in for the night, and you just
well, so much for those plans.
Watch something and maybe do homework on that.
Yep. I gotta wonder how many times my neighbors hear me lose my shit whenever my kids like leave their room to look like Ground Zero or something. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What is all this? Oh shit. Oh man, yeah. So this weekend, man.
Yeah, I'm never gonna top that. You might as well just go ahead.
I was trying to build to
it. There's no way we're getting there. I don't want to
blow my load. Oh man. So we got this guy across the street, and I've never interacted with him before. He moved in probably it's about 8 months ago, maybe 9 months ago. And I try not to judge people I don't know, but you can't help it. You see people, you make little stories in your head how they are.
It exists in everyone.
Oh yeah. So this guy literally walked out of the fucking dictionary, and he is the textbook cliche, like ex-military douchebag. And that's no disrespect to the soldiers out there. It's nothing like that. But you guys know who I'm talking about if you've ever seen one of those. He always wears a ball cap. He listens to Motley Crue every fucking day. He's got like a car that he's working on in his garage that never gets finished. Every T-shirt in his house is cut into a homemade sleeveless. And so I've always I'm a pretty private guy anyway. Like I'm social when I need to be, but for the most part, I like coming home, going into my house. I'm not really the go party with the neighbors type of guy.
Yeah.
So I've never really had the need or the desire to go introduce myself or anything. But one thing that this guy has done that has always driven me nuts is that he's the type of guy that in the middle of a Saturday when you're trying to relax or a Sunday, he'll just crank this fucking sports car that he's working on and you'll just hear engine noise for like an hour straight of him gassing it and working on it. And it's like, okay, you know, whatever. It's the weekend. It's the middle of the day. It's annoying the fuck out of me, but it's your house. You have a right to do what makes you happy. If I was playing on my guitar right now, I wouldn't expect you to come knock on my door.
Right.
So I always tolerate it. And then we ended up having to send an email to management about him and the guy next to him about a month ago because they had bought their kid this quad to ride around in. And this thing is like really loud for a kid's toy. Yeah. And the kid will literally go up and down the street for hours on end. Mm-hmm. So all day long, you're watching TV, you're recording, it's just for hours, and you're like, fuck. So after it went on for like a week, we just sent a message. We're like, hey, is there we know kids get excited, but it's like it's can we temper it just a little bit? Didn't hear anything back about that. But then this weekend comes, and Holly especially like hates this fucking noise. She's like, oh, that little kid and his thing. She'll come home from work and he'll start. And it was more so because it was at like 8 o'clock at night that this was going on. It wasn't like middle of the day. So 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock. You
gotta put up Lindsay's comment.
Oh God. Well, maybe if you were the party with your neighbor's type, you wouldn't be in this situation. You're such a bitch. If you were my neighbor, I'd ignore you too. Saturday comes and she's at work, and Broseph across the street gets a new toy.
Another one.
Jeez. It's a I don't know if he built it or if he bought it on fucking Craigslist or what, but
there's no muffler, whatever it is.
There's no muffler. There's barely an engine. It's this like steel rod thrown together little fucking dirt bike thing that out of nowhere I started hearing this thing getting revved across the street, and I was just like, God damn, that's loud. What the hell is that? And I go out and it's him, and I was like, another one. And he's toting his big ass around in this little fucking mid-sized trailer trash fucking motorcycle thing that just sounds like a jet engine.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, how long is this going to go on? And so Holly gets home Saturday night, and I was like, yeah, he's got a new toy. And it's louder than the other one. And she's like, oh my God, this is bullshit. And I was like, yeah. I said, well, at least he did it at, 1. He's not doing it now. Fast forward to 11 o'clock at night. We're literally sitting there watching the first episode of Haunting a Blind Manor. And it's wrapping up. And I'm halfway dozing out.
Yeah.
She's already halfway asleep. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like right next to your head, it's so loud. And I just jolt out of the couch. I'm like, what the fuck? And she goes, what is that? And I'm like, son of a bitch. I get my shoes on, I go outside, I'm pissed off, I'm fucking, my adrenaline's going because I was asleep and someone just fired a cannon next to my head. Mm-hmm. I go outside and I walk all the way to the edge of my grass, and I look to the right, and this dude's drunk off his ass, like going on this little dirt bike down the edge of the road, and then he laps around the neighborhood. And so I just sit there like this, and I look to the left and wait for him to make his way all the way around. And he comes all the way around and just gunning it the whole way. And I'm like, people have got to be calling the cops by now. Like, this thing is so loud. Uh-huh. He finally gets back to his driveway, and I can tell the dude's drunk because I'm standing there and I'm staring at him, and he doesn't notice me for like a full minute. He's like on his bike, and he's sitting there, and he's tweaking something, and he's gunning it a couple more times, and then adjusting something and gunning it. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm shaking my head, and I'm like, is he ever going to notice that I'm fucking standing here? I'm the only person on the street. and he finally sees me, and he just does this. He goes,
Delayed
stares.
response. Yeah.
And I look at him and I go, "What's up?" And he doesn't say anything. And I went, "Okay." I said, "Do you mind not running that at 11 o'clock at night?"
Uh-huh.
And he looks around like for an audience. And he goes, "I guess." And I go, "Cool, I appreciate it." And I turned around and went to walk back to my house. And he goes, "Does it really bother you that much?" And I stopped and I said, "At 11 o'clock at night, when my kids are asleep and my wife's asleep, yeah, it does." And then I turned around and kept walking. And he goes, "Okay, I'll keep it off just for you." And I was like, "Cool, appreciate it." And I knew he was going to start getting to the smart ass, so I just kept walking. And I get all the way to my door, and I touch the handle, and he goes, "Sorry to offend you, princess." And I turned around and I said, "Whatever, asshole." And I shut the door, and all Holly heard was "asshole." She's like, "Oh, what did you do?" And I was like, "Nothing." So I came in. I'm wide awake now because I'm pissed. And I'm telling her, and I told him what the whole conversation was. Oh, my dad must be in here. I see a lot of Papa Leach comments. What's up, fellas? There he is. So I'm stewing, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to write management again because the same company owns every house in this whole subdivision that everybody rents from. So I start typing this email up describing what had happened, the time of day, the interaction. And I hit send on this, sizable email, put my computer away, sit down, and then there's a knock at my door. And all I see is two shadows. And my first thought is this guy went and got a friend and came to my door.
Oh, no.
I'm like, Holly, she went to go open the door, and I was like, oh, fuck, why did she open it? And she was talking, and she goes, "Do you mean my husband?" And she goes, "Yeah, he's right here." And I shake my head, and I walk to the door, and I open it up, and it's two cops. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I go out, and I shut the door, and these two cops are sitting there, and he goes, "Hey, sir, just we need to ask you about what's going on with this guy across the street." And I was like, I wasn't the one that called you guys. Like, I assumed somebody in the neighborhood was bitching about the noise and called in a complaint. Right. I was like, I wasn't the one that called you guys. And they said, yeah, we know. He called in a complaint and said that you came over to his yard and threatened him. And I was like, I just kind of shook my head. And I was like, no.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah. I said, no, I didn't threaten him. And I told him exactly what had happened. I said, this dude started revving this bike that sounds like a damn jet at 11 o'clock and was riding around the neighborhood drunk off his ass. I walked to the edge of my driveway and asked him to stop. And literally, like, I know people would probably assume that I would cuss the dude out. I literally asked him, I said, "Do you mind not running that at 11 o'clock at night?" Because I knew he was drunk. And I know the type of personality that this guy is just by judging from his look. And I knew that cussing at him wouldn't do anything. So I told him what had happened. And luckily I had the cops laughing. So I was joking around. And I was like, yeah, I've never talked to him before. I said, I can look at him and tell he's one of those alpha male meatheads. And they start fucking dying laughing. And they start shaking their head. They're like, "All right, man, well, just don't worry about it." He said, "If he ever comes over to your house, you do have the right to defend yourself." And I was like, "Did this cop just tell me I can shoot this motherfucker?" Because that's kind of what it sounded like. And they went across the street and dealt with him. I'm pretty sure they could tell he was drunk. So I thought that was the end of it. After the cops left, you could hear homeboy and the guy next door that was always revving up and down with his kid's quad, showboating and yelling about what they're going to come do and all that shit. And I was just laughing. Like 10 minutes later, after the cops leave, the guy that lives next to this dude and him get together. They get into his car and they start cranking the rap music all the way up. And he's got like those ultra subs to where like my walls are starting to do this. And I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And I could tell that they were doing it as like like a challenge kind of thing. And I'm like, you got to be shitting me. So Holly goes outside. She starts recording it with her phone off to the side of the house where they can't see her because she didn't really want to like get involved with anything. Obviously. Yeah. And so I said, okay. So I went and called the non-emergency number and I was like, hey, can you please send those same exact officers back out here? They can't be far. They can't be far away. And they're like, yeah, okay, we'll send somebody out there. And then it just kept going for like 20 minutes. And so I walk outside and I put my phone up to get a video. And I only got 4 seconds of footage because as soon as they saw me do this, they cut the car off. And either the cops never came back or the cops never came and knocked on my door. But after the music went away, we went inside, and I don't know if they ever came back again. But I haven't seen that dude outside of his house since. So I don't know if he's ashamed or if he genuinely was threatened.
Yeah, if he was drunk too, he maybe, you do fucked up things you don't even realize.
Oh, yeah. It was ridiculous. But yeah, it was. Thank God, like my dad just said, thank God you're moving. Thank God we're moving, or it would be much worse. But it was just kind of like the icing on the cake that now twice me and Holly get ready to move, and all of a sudden situations explode with our neighbors. Yeah. So it's like the shit's just got to boil over right before you're starting to move on to something else.
Yeah, there was a super chat from Joshua Nelson. Saw 5 review. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I see it. Oh, you bastard. Take that $2 back. Thank you, Josh. Yeah, that was nuts. That was I mean, I've never had the cops called on me before, so that was kind of entertaining. But I'm glad they had a sense of humor, because I was like, okay, they're either going to think I'm a complete jerk or they're going to laugh along with me, and luckily it was the latter. But yeah, that was rough. Holly was getting like anxiety about it, and she was worried the rest of the weekend, and I was like, whatever. I said, what else can he do? Honestly, I was like, the cops know he's a drunk asshole. Now management knows he's a drunk asshole. They called me on Monday and wanted a description of the story, and they're like, okay, we'll take it from here. So I don't know if that means they're going to message him or fine him, or they're just saying they're moving in 3 weeks, so we'll just act like we're going to do something, and then they'll get the fuck out anymore. Oh, man.
It's a lot of paperwork. Yeah, I don't know why. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was nuts. That was the worst neighbor interaction that I've had thus far. I'll just say that. Hopefully that's the tip. Hopefully it's all downhill from here.
See, with a dude like that, I would probably take the passive aggressive approach. Mm-hmm. Let him have his night and then figure out a way to piss him off later.
Oh, that was my plan. That was my plan. Yeah. So like when Holly was worried about it, I was like, don't worry about it. I was like, if I see him again, he's going to be easy to piss off, because he's the type of guy that you can tell he thinks he's physically threatening. Like, just him being there is like he's not going to do anything. So I would just play into that. Like, I'd be getting him, be like, hey, man, I'm just going to work. Don't feel threatened. In the truck. You know what I mean? Yeah, I would have had fun with that. But like I said, I have not seen that dude outside of his house since then, or his wife. And it's just like, wow, because they're usually outside people.
He could be embarrassed.
He could be. I don't know. Fun stuff. I sent you a photo of what happened at my neighbor's. Yeah, I saw Mother Mayhem's got some interesting stories too. She had somebody, I guess she looked outside of her door, and if I remember correctly, it was a garage door that had spray painted like cheating bitch or something like that. And something along those lines. Daddy came home and found some news.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Well, now the neighborhood knows.
Yep.
Didn't you have like a fire in your neighborhood a while ago too?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That was right after we got back from our honeymoon. That was like the night that we returned. It was fucking insane. We were gone for over a week. Well, just about a week. We had left on a Sunday and came back. We left on a Sunday and came back on that Saturday, I believe. But yeah, the first night that we were home, we had unpacked our bags and everything. Everybody was asleep but me. And it was like, I don't know, 11, maybe midnight. And I kept hearing what sounded like fireworks in the backyard. And we do have this weird problem in this neighborhood of people loving to shoot fireworks all year round. And it just annoys the fuck out of us. Mm-hmm. I'm like, bitch, it's like May 12th. What the hell are you fucking celebrating? So
Happy Arbor Day.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, what the fuck, man? It's like midnight. Why are you doing this now? And then it just kind of kept getting louder. And I was like, what? And I went and I looked in the backyard just trying to see like what house was doing it. And you could just see like embers. And I was like, what the fuck? And I kind of closed my door and I walked over. And the way that our houses are, there's no fences because it's all rental properties and they want to be able to get lawnmowers and shit in. So it's all open.
Yeah.
So I'm walking, and as soon as I like can see between two houses, I just see the front yard of this house fucking inferno. And I was like, oh shit. And 911. I'm like, hey, this neighborhood here, this address, this house is on fire. And they're like, yeah, we've already gotten a couple of calls. And I'm like, okay,
Just trying to help.
Yeah, exactly.
No need to be a dick.
I ran. I woke up Holly. I was like, "Hey, what the fuck? The house back here is on fire!" And we ran, and like within 5 minutes, I've never seen a house on fire before, but like within 5 minutes, it went from just the front yard to the front yard, the cars, and the front of the house to the whole thing. And the flames were like seemed like 100 feet high. I mean, we were standing on the complete other block watching it, and you could feel the fire like it was right here.
Yeah.
And you could just hear things popping. You could see the plastic and the siding of the house melting. The funniest part about it, not to make light of a obviously tragic situation, but the cars were fully on fire. And my fucking action movie loving ass, I was like, they're gonna blow. So I'm like trying to get back, and I'm waiting. I'm like, the gas tank's gonna go any minute.
Come on, do it. Come on, get the mic. I need a stock explosion sound.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm watching it, and I'm just waiting for that. I'm like, the gas tanks are gonna blow any minute. They got like 10 seconds. And I guess that shit just doesn't happen in real life. No. At most, the tires will blow, and you'll get a little reaction of that. But yeah, it was nuts. Like, it took forever for the fire department to get there, and they're just up the road. So I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but it took them forever to get there, what seemed like forever. And you could just see like embers coming down. And I was like, oh, please don't tell me that's going to like set other shit on fire.
Oh, yeah.
And to this day, you can drive by the house and they haven't done shit with it. They just have it caution taped. You could see inside the house because it's all burnt to shit. And the sides of the two neighboring houses are all wood because it's all melted off. So, yeah, I hope they have renter's insurance. I'll just put it that way.
Fucking A.
But yeah, that was nuts. That was the first night we were back, and it was just like, God damn, welcome home.
Yeah. Every time you think something's terrible, you got to remember that there's always possibly something worse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's nuts. I mean, you just start thinking about like... I always get nervous, like when I leave my two kids alone. I always think they're going to do something stupid, like leave toast in the fucking toaster or something. and that image was what I always have in my head. Like I'm going to come home, getting dinner, I'm being like, oh fuck, what happened? And it's nuts. I don't know what caused the fire. It had to be something around the trash cans because it was just the front of the house. But yeah, that was crazy.
Huh.
That probably takes the cake. That's the craziest thing to happen in this neighborhood. Drunk guy across the street was number 2. Close second.
Yeah, fire show is pretty big.
And then just last week, I was trying to change out my fucking left mirror got knocked off at work. Somebody ran into it, or was walking underneath it and knocked it off. Now, luckily, it's just 3 screws, so I bought a secondhand one off of a website and was outside doing that. And on the street, across the street, I just hear somebody come out their house like, bro, get your shit and get the fuck out of my house. And it was just these 2 dudes just screaming at each other. I don't know if his brother lived at home with him, but it was these 2 dudes just going at it for like a half an hour. And I'm the only other person on the street. And I'm just like,
fucking hurry up.
Yeah, exactly. I look like I'm being extra nosy because I'm just, from the angle that they were looking at, it was just my car and my head. So it was just this. But really, I'm down here like doing shit. Yeah, Mother Mayhem says, cigarette butt in the garbage. They can reignite 24 hours later. Yeah, that probably, Stay Metal Ray. What's up? That probably is exactly what happened. So yeah, we're getting the fuck out of this place.
Yeah.
And hopefully to somewhere a lot nicer. Although there was, whenever we were looking at the house, funny enough, we were only there for like half an hour. And after about 10 minutes of being there, a kid with a dirt bike started running the back sides of the neighborhood, like, and I was like, oh shit. But I was getting ready to walk across the street to the neighbors that were out in their garage and ask, like, hey, is this dickhead over here out a lot, or is this just like a weird occurrence? And then funny enough, a dude from work walks out of the garage and recognizes me, and I guess that was his girlfriend's parents' house he was hanging out at. And so it was funny that he knew me, but then he starts talking. He's like, hey, sorry about the dirt bike. That's my girlfriend's stepbrother or whatever. He does that only on every other Saturday. And I was like, thank God I didn't come over and ask if this dickhead was always out, because that's the fucking house he lives in. Austin Wagner. If the slasher icons entered an arena and had a fight to the death, which one would come out on top? I'll let you take that one.
I'm trying to entertain this question as civilly and perhaps as intriguingly as possible.
It's always hard not to pick your favorite. But
Yeah.
you go logically, and people always come at you with swords.
Well, are we asleep or are we awake? Because if we're asleep, then it's Freddy. If we're awake, then it's Halloween Kills era Michael Myers. Spoiler.
And demonetized. Everybody jumping in. Ash, Jason, Michael Myers, Pinhead.
Yeah.
No one agrees.
Yeah.
I always say Freddy's the most powerful, and then people always go, yeah, but if he has to fight Michael in the real world, I'm like, well, then Michael has to fight with his fucking hands tied behind his back. Why do I gotta have to get a handicap? What the fuck? Michael Myers, he slept through the whole fight. They rebooted him before the fight was over.
Pinhead. See, I don't know why. Yeah, Sky's got a good point. What classifies as slasher film? Like, you could widen that up quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, Candyman is kind of a supernatural force. I don't know. That's where you get hard. Pennywise, I don't know if he's a slasher, but you can throw him in as a horror villain, I guess, if you're going to broaden it. But yeah.
Nobody says Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Nope. No, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I know who is not going to be winning.
Uh-oh. Here it comes. That fucking thing's intense.
It is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I had a coworker from my last job, a really good friend of mine. He's the guy who officiated our wedding. He texted me about an hour after I made that video, and he said, "What did he say? I don't want to fuck up. I'll do verbatim and lose all humor." He texted me, and he said, "Hey kid, you gonna sleep with one eye open to make sure that Chucky doll won't come to life?" And I said, "Hell, I'm kicking Holly out of the bed and snuggling up with Chucky." Does Xenomorphs count? Because my money's on them. Yeah.
Oh,
then you got numbers.
Yeah, you could cut them and then you're fucked. Ow! Their blood.
I'm hurting them and it's hurting me.
Yeah, this is not working the way I expected.
You're cheating. Acid blood's bullshit. Oh man, yeah. People suck. I think that's the hashtag we're going with for the theme of the evening. People are rough. It's always hard because you got to find that balance. Like we all do shit that annoy each other. Somebody will play music that you don't like. It's a little too loud, or somebody will rev their car because they're working on it. You always got to find that balance of like, okay, tolerance versus realism. It's
I have a subwoofer. It has not been plugged in since I've been here, but there's times where it's just like, okay, keep running around. I'll plug that fucker in. It's Saving Private Ryan time, motherfucker.
Take my guitar amp and just face it on the floor. I had some fun with that couple at the fucking apartment. I'll tell you that much, because the apartments. You know what I mean? It's one wall with 6 fucking rooms or whatever. There's us, there's our neighbors, and then the same thing at floor 3 and floor 2 or floor 1. And so one wall could be noisy, and you don't know who the fuck is doing it, but they would always pound on our floor. That shit would piss me off. Like there was one time it was like 4 a.m. and I'm asleep, and I can hear like this light hitting of the wall. Mm-hmm. And you know what it is at 4 a.m. that's doing that. And they fucking pounded on our floor, and I was like, motherfucker. Started jumping up and down, pounding on the goddamn ground. God, I'm glad I don't live in apartments anymore. I'll say that. I'll never live in an apartment again. I don't care how fucking huge the rent is at a house. Aaron Anderson, what's up, guys? CP Showbiz was awesome on Monday. Cody, you should wait until your son is about 16 and do the American Pie series together. That would be golden to get a teenage boy's reaction to it.
There might be something better by
I can give you how old was he? He was probably 11. I'll give him 11. He might have been younger. But I watch shit in the living room. If they pass by to go to the kitchen or whatever, I'm not as worried about pausing shit as Holly is. Holly's like, oh. I'm kind of like, whatever. It's real life.
Yeah.
And I was watching one of the American Pie movies. This is a true story. And this is my exact reaction. And it was at the point where right before he does something into a cup in the first 10 minutes of the first movie.
Okay.
So if you've seen the movie, you know what's going on. Guy and his girlfriend, she's, helping him out. And so it's before that, and he walks to go get a drink, and you can't really tell what's going on. I'm assuming he doesn't know what the fuck it is anyway. There's not really nudity on screen. I'm like, whatever. I let it play. He gets a drink, and he comes back, and he stops next to me, and he goes, "Is she sucking his penis?" And I go, and I couldn't think, and I went, yes.
Well, no, the way they shoot it, her head is just bobbing.
He just walks away like, okay, cool, good talk. And it was so funny because usually I'm very quick on my feet, but it caught me so off guard I couldn't lie. He just asked me, and I was like, yeah, that's what's going on. Thank you for the super chat, Aaron, and that's a great opening to that question or that little story there. CK78, always enjoy both you and CP's streams and videos. Stay healthy and safe. Thank you. And Joshua Nelson back again. Cody, would you rather rewatch Freddy's Dead and Seed of Chucky or I Spit on Your Grave in a Serbian film? What I've never seen either I Spit on Your Grave or a Serbian film, so I can't rewatch them.
Serbian film is easy to watch.
But
after you've seen it once.
Yeah, once the shock's there, it's gone. It's those types of movies. Like I Spit on Your Grave, that's all about rape and revenge. That's not, that's it's his area.
Who would like that? I got a whole series based on this shit.
Exactly. Yeah, those are movies that I just don't really have interest in watching. Period. Which is weird because it's not like I have. It's not like I have some traumatic experience or there's like a family member that makes me just ultra like weird against entertainment portraying rape or anything. But just for some reason, it just.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I always think of like them in between takes. Like, all right, so I'm gonna really like hit you, and it's just like
weird, isn't it? Like you can watch murder all day long.
Yeah. You could fake killing somebody, but like that, like the emotions there, and it's just like
it's almost like a too real. Like the other stuff is ultra fantasized, but this to that happens. Across the street that could be happening right now. Freddy's Dead and Seed of Chucky, I guess, because of that, but I'm not going to be happy with either of your options, sir.
Serbian film is it's a stronger movie
than the word.
Other. The message is stronger, but a little over the top with the things they're showing on screen. But it is a stronger film.
There was a guy that used to work in my department that not a whole lot of people liked because he was kind of an odd guy and he was a shit worker. But I walked up one day and he was already talking. This was after lunch, so everybody always gets together and we have like a midday meeting. Like, hey, anybody need anything? Any issues? Okay, cool. Go back to work. So I was walking up and he was already talking with a bunch of other people and they were laughing. And one dude yells at me. He's like, "Cody, you'll know. Cody, come over here." And I was like, "Must be a movie question." Okay. And I walk up and I said, "What's up?" And he goes, "You seen a Serbian film?" And I said, "Fuck no." And they were like, "Oh yeah." Juan over here was talking about it. He said it's a pretty awesome movie. And I was like, and then he walked away and I was like, "Do you know what that movie's about?" And he's like, "No." And I was like, "It's literally about like dead bodies and kids getting fucked and stuff like that."
Newborn porn.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, he said it was awesome because a guy gets skull fucked to death or something." And I was like, I assume so. I'm not going to watch it.
That's like number 7 on the list of things.
Yeah. That's you're warming yourself up to that one. Leaving the hype. Thank you. How would you all feel if they did a Friday the 13th movie and zombie Jason didn't exist? They explained Jason wasn't Jason. It was his brother. That would explain why Jason is grown in part 2. I think the fans would flip the fuck out.
Well, technically, zombie Jason is part 6 and on. They don't explain why he's grown in part 2 because they needed to make money.
Yeah, because fuck it, that's why.
he was a dude.
I had a guy try to actually me on that shit. My Friday the 13th reviews are like 2+ years old, and I got a comment on Friday the 13th part 2 It was like, do you even watch these fucking movies before you review them? This movie takes place X amount of years after the first movie. It was like 7 years or what? How many years after the first movie does the second one take place? Do you know? Exactly. So he was like, it takes place 4 years after the first one. And I was like, cool. Doesn't explain why the motherfucker returns and it's a grown ass adult.
Yeah, that head would have certainly rotted to fucking nothing in 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it feels months later.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things like how does he know exactly where Alice lives?
I was like, and my ending point was continuity means dick in this franchise. Yeah. Nobody cares, including the fans. What's your point?
Yeah,
it was just so funny. It was just like, bro,
you can't defend that. Please don't become like Halloween fans, Friday fans. Please.
Yeah, please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Fucking Halloween fans and Dark Knight fans are cut from the same goddamn cloth. Austin Wagner, if you're going to be haunted by a slasher icon, which is the one you would not want to be haunted by the most, and which one do you think you could beat? I love him, but I could fuck up Chucky. If I can outrun Leatherface, he ain't shit.
Yeah,
depends what Leatherface. We'll put it that way, because there's like
how much gas left in the chainsaw.
Yeah. The remake Leatherface, I might think twice about picking that one. Any other Leatherface, I could. He ain't shit.
Just get some makeup.
Yeah, exactly. Just fucking throw a bone, catch, and just run. I mean, Freddy's the one that you can outrun Jason. You can outrun Michael Myers. Freddy, eventually, you have to sleep.
You gotta rest. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the genius of the horror of that whole situation is there's no running. The more you run, the more tired you get, the more fucked you are. Getting a lot of hypothetical slasher shit tonight.
Yeah, I think you skipped one too, actually.
Did I?
I think so. Hold on.
Let me go.
No. There was 3 right in a row, and you got them to.
Okay, yeah, I saw a lot of them. Oh, here we go. Tyler Trigg, you guys ordered the Friday the 13th collection. That's a no. I did. I apologize, CP.
No.
Horseshit timing, but
dude, 2020 is just like, fuck you. You're not gonna have any money, and also everything awesome's coming out this year. So
I don't mean to laugh, but
no, it's you have to. The irony's funny.
Yeah, that should be coming.
2 weeks, right?
Yeah, so I mean, Shout Factory usually if you pre-order they give
early. Yeah.
So yeah, it should be coming here soon. I might do an unboxing or something for that one. Not really an unboxing guy, but when you get something special like Chucky, kind of cool. But yeah, I did order it. I'm not as batshit crazy over all the new stuff like some Friday the 13th fanatics
so
are.
I'll take your poster then.
Well, that's not what I consider the extras. I like the extra. We got those VHS, scenes from part 2, but they're in the special features, not back in the movie.
They're not even like right.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not really gung ho about that. Like the one thing that would have made me go batshit about buying this, and I would have bought it anyway because I'm a fucking whore, is if they would have had the uncut footage from part 7, because that movie is the most frustrating one out of all of them for me, because the kills, if you see some of the footage, was actually pretty badass. And that would have lifted that movie quite a few spots in my ranking, because I love the Jason in that movie, the look of it and everything. But when you cut all the kills away, you're left with story and
not the strength of Friday the 13th.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I did order it. It looks like it's going to be a badass set. If for nothing else, it was just to get Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell, because for whatever reason, those just never come to Blu-ray. But I've bought this goddamn series that I'm not even that huge of a fan of 3 times now.
Yeah.
So I bought all of the individual Blu-rays that I could find whenever I was doing my review series. Like you had to go on eBay to find like part 6 and 4 and shit like that. So I have like these weird like single clamshells, and then I have like collection clamshells that have like 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and shit. And then they had the little 8-pack that came out like 4 months later that had that generic little cover on it, and it was just the first 8 movies, and that was it. and none of the New Line ones. And then now you have this.
Yeah.
CP, I asked you when it was first announced that I would buy for you, but was not given any info on Amazon wish list or details in general.
Oh, well,
Wait, what?
Usually I get questions like that, and I think people are kidding. But anybody who, yeah, my Amazon wish list is on my Patreon. If you're serious, listen, I'm not going to say no to it, but if you're serious, hit me up. I'll definitely. It's something I would not turn away. There's stuff that I haven't watched yet that I haven't turned away. That's just like, oh yeah, this. Just put this in the pile.
Yep. I have a pile myself.
Yeah. Thanks.
I have the pile of I bought that and I never watched it.
Yeah.
And it's still there.
Yeah.
I have the pile of I was sent this to watch and I still haven't had the time. And then I have the pile of I rebought this on 4K and I have no room for the regular Blu-ray, so it's going to go in this corner. Oh man,
that's awfully sweet of you. I don't know. I don't like. Again, I don't like when when it's $20. Yeah, I'll get it for you. Okay, it's one thing, but when it gets over 50, like I can't imagine somebody just wanting to do something like that. But if you're serious, fucking yeah. Where do I sign?
Jay Beanie, CP, have you seen the 2001 vampire movie The Forsaken? And if so, can you convince Cody to view it and review it for October? Thank you, guys.
I'm sorry, I haven't. But Cody should probably watch it and review it.
I have seen it, but there will not be a review because October is already fucking
busy. Yeah,
slam packed.
Busy.
I remember it being a decent enough movie. That's got the guy from the first Final Destination in it, I believe. The asshole bully. It's always fucking with Devin Sawa while he's in it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he's ever really been in much else.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in the My Bloody Valentine remake? I think that was the other thing I saw him in. But that guy is in it, if I'm thinking of the same movie. Decent. I'm a vampire fanatic. That was not one that necessarily jumped onto my must-have list.
Yeah, and you know what? I kind of pine for vampires now that Twilight has come out. It's like,
yeah, I've been saying that. The stench is gone. Come on, let's go.
Dude, just go full R-rated and fuck.
Have you seen Stakeland?
No.
Stakeland, and though I'm in the minority, I think Stakeland 2 is really good too, but especially the first one, check that one out. It's full-on rated R. Like the first 3 minutes of the movie, you see an infant getting drained. What? So it goes for it pretty quick. It's like post-apocalyptic vampires where it's, Mad Max level desolation, and you have this guy whose name is Mister, who's kind of like the fucking Van Helsing, and he's got this young kid whose family all just got viciously murdered, including the infant, and he kind of takes them under his wing, and they're going across the country to this place called Eden, which is supposed to be like sanctuary, and they encounter vampires. They encounter the fucked up humans that are still walking around that are like raping bitches and shit. It's a really cool movie. And it has Daniel Harris. Yes, it does.
Witchcraft 14, Glenn. I think Glenn sent me that. I have not watched it. Okay, go ahead.
Witchcraft 14?
Yeah. I probably if he's referencing it, he sent it to me. I haven't touched it yet. Clearly,
as in there's Witchcraft 1 through 13 before it.
I think it's rather atrocious. I think that's part of the gag.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh. If it's an unknown series and it gets above 5, you're in trouble. I mean,
well, there's some people that just do that. Apparently, there's that's a trick. That's a marketing trick where you could name something. Like they did that with Trolls 2, the really shitty one that people quote is one of the worst movies ever, the greatest worst movie ever. There wasn't a Trolls 1. They just wanted, for some reason, if people think there's a existing series, they're more likely to go watch it or some shit. It's really
Trolls 1.
Well, not in that case or something like that. I don't remember what it was. I really should have been a bit more prepared.
I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue. It's not Trolls, but there's some movie like that that's like the sequel's the first one.
Yeah, that's been done a couple of times. Like it just Nightmare Neighbors 7. Where's the first 6? Don't worry about it.
We'll talk about those. Blake Garner, do you prefer vamps when they are more regal, Dracula-like, or when they're more monstrous, vicious in your face? It depends on the movie, but in general, probably more vicious. I like vampires that go a little monstrous, that tear into people's throat, shit like that. But if you're going for something like, the non-monstrous version of Jerry Dandridge in Fright Night, I like that kind of suave vampire kind of thing too. So it depends on the movie, depends on your approach.
I think Stoker's Dracula 92 is my favorite, but I would take both if I could. I have them be regal, but like at the right moment, just get really fucking
Near Dark. I mean, that's one where they never really get monstrous.
I have not seen that yet.
Oh,
dude, I've heard. Oh. Yeah, that's directed by what's her tits too, right? The
Catherine Bigelow.
Point Break. Yeah.
Yep. I think it was her first movie. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's cool. It's like a Western, and it kind of breaks all the vampire rules. Like they never call themselves vampires. The sunlight does like singe their skin and everything, but they don't like explode when they hit sunlight.
Cool.
And it's a very different type of vampire movie. It's pretty awesome. You should check it out. Your uncle should have it.
Yeah.
Hulk Smash Yo Mom. I love that fucking name. New Nightmare remake. Should they or let it be?
They got to do something with it.
Do you mean a remake of Wes Craven's New Nightmare, or are you just saying a brand new reboot to the Nightmare franchise? No to the New Nightmare.
Well, Cecil, the horror show, is doing a fan film that's taking place right after it. So
yeah, so that'll satisfy you for that side of the question. Mm-hmm. A new remake, as in we're going to do the story of the first movie.
I think he's saying, do you want a new Nightmare remake? Not a new Nightmare. It's just a new Nightmare movie.
Yeah, I do want a new Nightmare movie.
Yeah.
As much as it's becoming a cliche, I think that the Halloween 2018 Candyman approach of we're just going to pick a place in the timeline and just start from here will work just fine, because you definitely want to get back to that, part 1, 2, or 3 tone of Freddy.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that without acknowledging 4, 5, and 6 unless you just say, fuck those movies, we're going back to this. So I think they kind of have to do that. But yeah, they definitely need to get a new Nightmare movie out there within the next 3 years, I would say. I mean, we're in a horror. Yeah, we're in a bit of a horror craze right now. You got Halloween, Candyman's coming back of all fucking franchises. You got Scream coming out next year. Chucky just had his turn. I hope we get another one of those. We're going to get 2 more Halloween movies. So, I mean, until like 2023, 2024, if they keep it up, we're still going to be in a bit of a slasher old school resurgence. They need to strike while the iron's hot. Don't fuck around like Friday the 13th and be like, hey guys, we're ready. Wait, where'd they go?
Yeah. No, Rings sucked, so we're not doing it anymore. And now we're in courtroom hell.
Yep. Yes. So to answer your question the long way, there you go. Francisco Gonzalez. Cody, are you excited for the new Resident Evil series on Netflix? No, because from what I've read about it, it's not following the story of the games. And it's getting to the point. Yeah, it's another side story thing. It's getting to the point where that's starting to piss me off. How many times they keep trying to go back to the drawing board with video game franchises, and they're saying, well, fuck all that shit. We're going to do our own thing and just use the name. And it's like,
dude, they're good stories. They're good stories.
The definition of an insanity right here. Like, why do you think these movies keep failing so much? There's a lot of reasons, but one of the big ones is that nobody ever respects the fucking material.
You could watch Resident Evil 1. Like, if somebody just didn't die and like whatever, you could watch that start to finish. Yeah, I mean, it's a literal blueprint for a script. You just take a couple of, segments out that don't need to be there, like the snake boss or some shit that's just going to be weird in live action. Flesh it out a little bit. There's your fucking movie. Yeah. Or there's your limited series on Netflix. Why do we got that mansion should be a movie.
it's infuriating. And like you got like the Uncharted movie coming out with Tom Holland, and it's like, okay, so we're just gonna. I mean, Uncharted is literally a movie that you play.
Yeah.
The story is right fucking there,
Yep.
but no, we're just gonna go back and make him a 20-year-old. It drives me nuts. They were talking about doing a Gears of War movie, and they're like, it's going to be in the universe of Gears of War, but it's not going to be the story. And it's like, well, then I don't give a fuck because you're going to screw it up. I mean, I just don't understand. I'm really, really looking forward to this HBO series of The Last of Us because they've already said it's going to be the story of the game, but they're going to flesh it out a little bit more. And it's going to be Neil Druckmann, the creator of the game, is heavily involved in it. And so this is going to be the one, mark my words, that's going to be like, okay, do that shit right there. See them? Yes, that story, those characters, that's what we as gamers fell in love with. And they just brought it to life in a way that people that don't play video games can love it too. That's what it's supposed to be.
I never got around to it. What was the thing that people got pissed off about in 2?
Spoiler alert for The Last of Us Part 2. You have a 5-second warning. Okay, you have a 2-second warning. The fact that Joel died was the big one. And then you have to play as the girl that killed him for the second half of the game.
So what?
But they flesh her out and they make you sympathize. Well, if you're not pissed off to the point where you just shut yourself off from storytelling.
He was supposed to be in the first one. He was supposed to be.
Yeah, they do a lot to make you sympathize with her character and understand where she's coming from. I mean, for her perspective, her dad was a doctor trying to save the world, and this dude just comes in and murders him and runs away.
Yeah,
you pissed off too. And it just shows different perspectives of that type of world. It shows this cycle of violence, and then Abby trying to go after her and all the carnage that ensues with that, and her path for revenge. I thought it was brilliant, honestly. And that was not fanboying, because usually on things that I'm really close to, like the first Last of Us, I'm its biggest critic if they try to do another one. I thought it was brilliant. It was bold. It was ballsy. And I understand to a degree why some people might not like it. But there was a ridiculous amount of bullshit and hate for that game because people just read spoilers online, like bullet points, like this happens, this happens, this happens. And they went, fuck this game. And then review bombed it. And then just spammed everybody with shit comments and then hoped that it failed.
Yeah, my neighbor, that's why how I was able to play it. He was like, I can't with this fucking game. And I was like, well, hand it over.
Yeah.
I'll try.
I can with this fucking game.
Yeah. And then he took it back. I was like, what?
Yeah, that was a aggravating thing. I can't stand it when people, the same thing happened to Terminator Dark Fate, where people read a spoiler online and they try to destroy it. And it's like, can you at least watch the fucking thing?
No.
And
yeah, we have a couple of people that are like that.
Yeah.
What? It's going to be this? No, it's terrible. No, it's not terrible. You don't like the idea.
Exactly. Except for season 8 of Dexter, right?
More.
We're going to get a comment about that one. Joshua Nelson, top 10 horror films off the top of your head. I can't off the top of my head. that's
yeah.
In no particular order. The Thing, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors, Child's Play 2, Bride of Chucky, Lost Boys, fucking Frailty.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Misery, Pet Cemetery. I mean, I don't know. You can name movies you love. I can't do a top 10 off the top of my head.
Yeah. It takes us months to prepare for 31. So 10 all time is kind of.
Yeah. And then you walk away and you're like, shit, I forgot that one.
Yeah.
It's like the most obvious pick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Psycho. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Scream.
Oops. Skyman, we need a new good werewolf movie desperately. Yes, vampire and werewolf need a resurgence here soon. I'm hoping that, despite Blumhouse being a plethora of quality, the Invisible Man kind of kicking off these classic Universal Monster reboots, and them talking about doing a Wolfman movie with Ryan Gosling. I'm hoping if they do that and they do a Dracula movie and it's really good, then that might get the wheels turning a little bit. But we'll see. Those are like 4 years off, so maybe somebody before then could help us out, give us a good one. Ryan, thoughts on the Doom movie that came out in 2005? The one with The Rock? I liked it. I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't know how it's aged, but at the time, I thought it was actually pretty good. I didn't get all the hate for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it kind of fucks up the story of the game, so I'm kind of a hypocrite because it says, opening up the gates to hell. Nah, fuck that shit. It's just a virus on Mars. But aesthetically, it's Doom. And I thought The Rock being a bad guy was cool. Carl Urban's in it. It's badass. I thought that like first-person shooter segment that they put in there, again, it might not age very well. It might look shit now. Right. But yeah, it was cool. I remember liking that movie. Make sure I didn't miss a super chat. I don't believe I did. Yes. Uh-oh. I'll leave the verbal castration on that remark for our review series. Oh, man. Keep your eyes peeled, guys, because we're going to have fun through October and November. Me and Mother Mayhem are going to be reviewing all 8 seasons of Dexter, and she has an arsenal ready for the 8th video. So we'll see.
That's a long way to go to get to.
It's a weird island to die on, isn't it?
Yeah, to get to that finish.
And it's funny because I'm rewatching it and I'm remembering immediately how amazing the first few seasons.
1 through 4. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 through 5. I just finished season 3 and I'm just like, God, I love this fucking show. And then I just think about what's coming and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. If they ended it after 4, I could understand. You just be like, all right, so that fucked this shit up. Happy
belated birthday, Mother Mayhem. What the fuck? I didn't get a notification for your birthday. Yeah. When the hell was it? Now I'm a shit friend. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, happy birthday, Mother Mayhem. This is now the Mother Mayhem birthday stream. I need to retitle it. I feel like shit. Fucking Facebook.
Wait, Lindsay doesn't think that season 8 is good, does she?
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes. That's the whole joke here is that she gets fired up
the whole way, all the way to the very, very end.
Yeah.
No.
She might think that there's flaws. I don't know. I haven't really discussed. I'm trying to save all the fun for later.
All right.
We've had some discussion, and I'm like, what about this, and this? And she's like, are you fucking kidding me? This is the reason. And I'm like, okay. We'll see. We'll see. I love unique opinions. So I mean, I'm not
sure. Nobody's right. Nobody's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. For CP to get a Chucky replica, $2.
I'm gonna need to stay here a little while.
Yeah.
Thank you. You skipped one. Chase Ward.
Oh, I did.
You can pick only one and never watch.
You could pick one and never watch the other again. What do you choose? Dream Warriors or Child's Play 2? Oh, shit. You sick bastard. I think Child's Play 2 is the better movie. Technically.
Oh, really? Okay.
They're so damn close. There's things in Dream Warriors that definitely are flaws where I think Child's Play 2 is pretty much a flawless Chucky movie. But I watched the shit out of Dream Warriors. So, oh my God. Which one do you want to save, your son or your daughter? I'm probably going to pick Dream Warriors out of those two. And I'm guessing by his remark about Child's Play 2 being better that CP agrees.
Yeah. I mean, I would. It wouldn't be that hard for me.
Not that one.
Throw out your pick, lesser underrated gem. Ooh.
I always say Frailty. That's always my first pick.
You know, I don't. How did you like Brain Scan, Cody? I can't.
It was fun. It was a fun little like a B movie kind of.
Yeah, like I always go to that. Like that has some sort of nostalgia thing for me. But like I don't know if it's just me with the goggles on because I really had fun with that.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean it wasn't like an instant favorite.
Yeah, not like a
it is a movie that would probably require a little nostalgia for some people. But I liked it. Frailty is definitely one that I think is underappreciated. A movie that I need to review at some point. Rudderless, I think, is criminally underseen. That's a movie that just kind of quietly came out. Nobody talked about it, and I fell in love with it. And I got Woody hooked on it, and then Woody has like spread it to numerous people, so it's like this virus between two of us that is spreading.
Woody, who does all the artwork? Woody Bowen.
Yes. So yes, those would be two picks that would come to my mind right away. Let me see here. Last live stream, you said you would have your Saw 5 video by first week of September. Not trying to be a dick, but I'm just a little confused. I don't really have an excuse for you. The push of Spiral to next year kind of fucked up my plans for it, and a lot of things have taken precedence. A lot of things have taken precedence because of Tenet comes out. Obviously, Tenet's going to be more relevant than Saw 5. Now we got 31 on 31. I've had a lot of screener ability over the past month, so it's just there's no rush for it. There's no time bomb. There's no ticking clock on it, so I've just kind of pushed it to the side until I have more time. And obviously, I'd like to stretch out that Saw review series a little bit to keep the hype going for Spiral. They kind of dicked it.
Yeah.
CK78, CP and Cody, with music sounding mostly the same nowadays, what band do you both recommend that are completely unique and deserve more attention? I don't really
today?
I don't really have one. I listen to all the old shit or bands that I've been listening to for 10, 15 years, whatever they put out. There's not really a new band that's like kicking ass that I know of.
Yeah. See, well, the Deftones just came out with a new album, so technically they came out with something new. Deftones is a band that I religiously listen to. Ginger is pretty fucking heavy, but it's got this chick lead singer that goes from clean vocals to like really, really hardcore
throaty shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get down with that sound. It's hard. Yeah. Modern music. I don't, it's just so happens that the Deftones are still making music.
As far as a band that deserves more attention, I would say Alter Bridge. They're not really like Creed at all sound wise, but it's Creed with a different singer. That's the easiest way to explain what the band is. Miles Kennedy is the new singer, but I say new singer. He's been the fucking singer for over 15 years now. But it's they're really heavy on some songs. They're like progressive rock on some songs. They're soft on some songs. I mean, they have a huge variety. The talent is ungodly in that band. Mark Tremonti is a fucking monster on the guitar. That's a band that a lot of people just think of as Creed with somebody else, and they're just so much more than that. So I think that they're, as far as modern bands that are out there really kicking ass that deserve more attention, I would always say them. Did I miss? Yeah, there's a couple more. Rogelio, best and worst horror video games. Best horror. I mean, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 7.
I was going to say Resident Evil 7. I really had a fun time with.
That shit was intense. I did it on the VR, the whole game. So that was that was an experience. You turn a fucking corner and the shit's right there, and you're like, so any of those, I have not played them in a very long time, but I remember the first Silent Hill being pretty scary as shit.
Bad.
Yeah, bad is. I mean, there's been some shit Resident Evil games. There's been some shit Silent Hill games. Evil Within, I think, is a mediocre horror game that a lot of people seem to love.
Oh, yeah, Left 4 Dead.
Both of them. Left 4 Dead, yeah, that takes a particular taste. That's fun, but it's very wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
I know Until Dark, that's another one that everybody lost their shit over, and I just kind of got frustrated with it. I finished it, but that's where you make decisions, and you're playing as a bunch of different characters that are like in a movie. It's got Hayden Panettiere as one of the characters is in it.
Shit.
So it's cool. Rami Malek is in it too. Pre Bohemian Rhapsody, before anybody knew who the fuck he was. But the game frustrated me because you would make decisions and not realize that they were permanent decisions, and then it would just like, okay, well, the rest of my game is fucked now because
Oh, really?
I didn't want that to happen. And yeah, so you'll like go left, and then the fucking character that you like just got killed, and now he's out of the game forever, and you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, Outlast. People saying Outlast.
Outlast is decent. It's definitely creepy because you don't have any weapons; you just have a camera.
Fucking PT. That. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was a badass nothing. That ended up being nothing.
That's kind of where Resident Evil went. Oh, okay.
Like, we'll take that look and idea and we'll run with it.
Yep, exactly.
That was fucking incredible.
Yeah, that was creepy as shit.
For nothing. For free.
Austin Wagner, what is your thoughts on 2004 Dawn of the Dead? I love it.
No, greater than 3 it.
Huh?
He greater than 3's it.
Oh, he greater than 3's it. I love it as well. That might be my favorite zombie movie, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I did not grow up with the Romero films. I have since watched most of them. I reviewed most of them. That's another review series that I'll need to finish here soon. But the original Dawn of the Dead is very highly regarded with zombie fans. I definitely prefer the remake. It doesn't help that I saw it first and grew love for it before I saw the original, but they're very different movies. You have, social commentary and old school, and somebody said something in the chat. I can tell.
It's less than 3. I fucked it up.
Less than 3.
See, I can't even joke.
There you go. Actually. But yeah, Dawn of the Dead, the remake, I think is kick-ass. I think it's scary. I love like fast, ferocious zombies. I think that's a lot more intense than, I know that's the old school shit, but yeah, I love it. I think that's Zack Snyder's, my favorite Zack Snyder movie. He's done some awesome stuff. I am a fan of his, but yeah. Love me some Dawn of the Dead.
That's probably my favorite Snyder.
Aaron, you are fired.
Compendium. What the fuck else has he done?
And let's say that a hero could save us.
No. I think I'm busy that day. So you go ahead and find something.
I left my oven on. Dale Strunk, what do you guys think are the worst modern cartoons on Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network?
Oh, boy.
Modern cartoons? I didn't... yeah. I can talk about the shit like pre-2000.
Yeah. I haven't watched... Well, I watch Rick and Morty. That's the only cartoon I'll watch. I haven't watched cartoons.
I watch a lot of the old school stuff. I like getting... I've kind of figured out a cheat for the inevitable annoyance of being a parent to an infant that grows into a toddler, and eventually they get stuck on things to where like you'll show them a movie that they love and then they want to watch it 10,000 times and they just want to watch that. My cheat around that is to make them fall in love with shit that I already love.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I'll make them watch like, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island or fucking the old Dennis the Menace or the Goonies, or, I'll try to make them like shit that I like so I can at least tolerate it. So I started buying on Amazon. They have this thing called like Nicktoons or Nick Splat or some shit like that, where it's a lot of the old Nickelodeon shit. You just have like a $7 a month subscription or something like that. And I'll watch Rugrats with Riley, or we'll watch Johnny Bravo, and I'll throw on Are You Afraid of the Dark with the older two and stuff like that. So I've watched this past year a lot of old Nickelodeon Cartoon Network stuff, Cow and Chicken and Dexter's Lab. She'll call me sometimes when they're on the way home, and Holly will call me, and it's on the speakerphone because it's in her vehicle. And Riley's like, "What, Daddy? What you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm watching Dexter." Dexter's Lab. Yep, Dexter's Lab. Which remake would you like to see the most? Code Veronica, Resident Evil 0, or Resident Evil 4 remade? Code Veronica needs a remake the most.
That's a good game. It's that's probably the best game of the 3, I would say.
Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4 because it's a bit more actiony.
Resident Evil 4 was my favorite. It might still be. It's between that and the Resident Evil 2 remake. But yeah, 4 was the one that got me into the series, and that game,
Oh,
man,
okay. Yeah.
I might have beat that game more times than any other game in my life. Like, I just kept replaying it. Every time they'd re-release it for a new system, PS2's got it. Oh, I'm going to buy it, play it again. PS3's got it. I'm going to buy it, play it again. Code Veronica needs a remake the most. And that's a really important game for the storyline that doesn't get treated like it's a mainline game.
Yeah.
I actually played it for the first time either the beginning of this year or last year. I can't remember. It's been so long. But when I did my Resident Evil, it was this year. It was like around March when I did my Resident Evil ranking, and everybody was like, "Where the fuck Code Veronica?" I was like, "Fine." So I did the little port thing that they have on PS4. That's a port from the Dreamcast, so it looks ultra shitty. And trying to play those old school games where like you can only move like a tank and trying to like dodge zombies and shit.
Just this way. There's no this. It's just up and down.
Yep, exactly. So I was a bitch to try to relearn. And story wise, it was cool. Gameplay wise, I was fucking throwing my controller. But I would love to see a remake of that just for the story alone. But man, they're already talking about a Resident Evil 4 remake. That's going to be badass. I don't know how you could fuck that up. Have you all seen Stay Alive, a video game movie?
Yes.
No.
Yes. And if you enjoy that, watch Brain Scan, because it's the same thing except different. Stay Alive is a movie from 2005, I want to say, with Frankie Muniz and a bunch of.
I can picture it now. I can picture it.
Yeah, and they're like playing a VR game, and same-ish premise as Brain Scan. They're stuck in the game, and if they die in the game, they die in real life.
Talk about a child actor that just fucking disappeared.
Petered out later.
Yeah, he was in everything for like 4 years, and then just fell off the edge.
Yeah. Hope he's saved.
Hope mom and dad didn't write those checks.
No.
All right. Brain Scan is far superior. Long live Furlong.
She called it Brain Scam. Actually, the title's Brain Scan.
Oh, I'm going to leave that here for the rest of the fucking stream in shame. Thoughts on Ghosts of Tsushima? Did you ever get a chance to play it?
Is that new? Old? What is that?
Yeah, it was this year. It was the game with like the samurai that everybody was freaking out about on PS4.
Is it free?
No.
Well, then I'm not fucking playing.
Absolutely not. Yeah, it's a game that everybody was playing, everybody was reviewing, everybody was gassing it up, saying it was the game of the year, best thing ever. And I'll be honest with you, I really enjoyed it. And then it got so monotonous for me by the last third of it that I've yet to finish it. I planned on reviewing it, and then I'm literally at the part probably where I could beat the game. Like, I have the little icon on my map for what feels like would be the final mission, and I just haven't had the interest to go back and play it. It's a really cool game if you like Japanese culture, if you like samurais and ronins and all that kind of stuff. The fighting mechanics are all really good. It does make you feel like a badass. The graphics and the environment is gorgeous. And pieces of the story are really interesting, but for me, it's one of those.
She's making fun of my mustache.
Oh, it's one of those games that it has that open world thing, and to me, modern games that are open world either feel like a Grand Theft Auto clone or an Assassin's Creed clone, and this kind of goes the Assassin's Creed route, and it gets monotonous for me, just like Assassin's Creed games have, to where I have stopped playing them because it's go all the way to the other end of the map, talk to this person. Now walk with that person while listening to dialogue and go fuck this guy up. Okay, now there's 4 other guys, so you got to fight them. Now walk back with this person back to this checkpoint, and then now the mission is done, and they have warped to the other side of the map. And if you want to continue their story, you got to go there and talk to them again. Yeah. And it was so much of that over and over again that I kind of got tired of it. I'm somebody that does a lot of side missions. I don't just do the main storyline and save all that shit for the end. I kind of like to do it all together. And I think I burnt myself out. It's kind of like the effect that you have when you watch all the Texas Chainsaws and then you watch all the fucking Evil Deads and then you just get pissed.
Yeah. And like they bleed over where I'm like, 2 sucked. And then you go back. No, it didn't. Oh, well, the beginning of 3 sucked and just ruined how 2 felt for me. I don't know.
Yep, exactly. See, it was it's a good game. I would recommend it. I don't think it's as good as a lot of people make it out to be. It's not even close to game of the year for me, but that's just me. So let's see here.
Somebody keeps asking about Carrie. Emily's Adventures in Horrorland did a review for it, so go ahead and do that. I don't know if you have plans on reviewing it, Cody. I know my wife did, just in case somebody's hard up to watch.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah. So Emily's Adventures in Horrorland, Carrie review. There you go. Chew up a couple of minutes.
Here we go. Yo, Cody, who is your favorite rapper? Cody doesn't like rap. There you go, Dale. Crystal Dale. Oh, man. Hey, Cody, would you be opposed to a Friday the 13th prequel exploring more of Pamela and Jason said? I know that's not right. The only reason that I read that was to get that reaction, because I knew you'd be like, motherfucker. Go ahead, TP.
I have a treatment for it. I would. I certainly would. I don't know. Yeah. The thing of it is I all but wrote a script for that. Yes, I certainly would.
We'll do an episode of Pitch Wars eventually, and we'll get it out.
Yeah, well, once Vince is done making his diatribe of movies, maybe I'll get him to jump aboard.
Oh, man.
Alonzo, new movie tomorrow. Who would like that?
Oh, I must have missed
Alonzo is a fan of the fucked up shit on my channel. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Cody and CP, what are some of your favorite Stephen King films?
Pet Sematary.
Yeah, Pet Sematary is my favorite. I mean, obviously, you have to say Green Mile and Shawshank. I never think of them right away.
Yeah.
But those are easy. Stand By Me, I love. Misery, really high up there for me.
I put The Shining above Misery.
The Shining. I love Christine.
I haven't seen
Sometimes They Come Back is actually pretty good, although it's dated as fuck, and you can tell it's a TV movie. I enjoy it.
That's how I felt about Cujo. I used to think Cujo was incredible. Then I watched it again like a year ago. I was like, oh, this is fucking bad.
I saw a picture. It was Cujo, and it was the head, and it was the guy inside the suit like this. And it was said, this just fucked up the whole movie for you. And it totally did. I haven't seen Cujo. I've only seen it once my whole life. I didn't really like it as a kid.
Yeah.
I haven't really had the interest to go back as an adult. I don't imagine I'll like it very much as an adult.
Yeah. Spoiler, crying kid, third act.
Yeah.
That's all you have. Kid whining and crying.
I was so confused at first why you bought a Cedar Chucky doll replica. Yeah, that was kind of the thing. I almost did a joke on that and put like a piece of tape over Seed and write bride for like the thumbnail and put it to the side. But it's, I mean, I got actually today on my video because I said it's the exact same thing, and they're like, "Oh, there's slight differences." And I'm like, "Cool."
No, there's 4 staples on his head.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, for my purposes, this is fucking close enough. This I could say, "Hey, I got a Bride of Chucky doll," and nobody would question me.
Yeah,
Let's put it that way.
It's the same thing like with Part 6's mask. There's some scuffs from the axe. It's different from Part 7 because Part 7 there's a crack from the. It's like, all right. Just relax. Cool.
Nerd boner. But yeah, they only had Seed. They were kind of releasing the whole family. They had Chucky, they had Tiffany, and they had whatever the fuck Glenda is.
Oh.
And if it wasn't $600, I would buy Tiffany because I do like the Seed look of Tiffany better. And it'd be cool to have them both together, but I'm not spending $1,200 on dolls. I think I'd get divorced. So. I bought this one like almost 2 years ago when I had a lot of extra money and kind of slipped that purchase under the radar. And then it shows up and it's like, what the fuck did you buy? I bought this years ago. It just finally came.
Gerald's Game is up there. All right.
Yeah, Gerald's Game was good. It 2017. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be talking about the good and bad of that franchise here in a couple of weeks. But yes.
Least favorite horror remakes.
The Fog is pretty garbage. Prom Night is pretty garbage. Black Christmas.
Yay! Oh, he said it now.
I will say this: Black Christmas 2019? 2019. Yeah. Black Christmas 2019
Awful.
makes Black Xmas look entertaining.
Look like fucking Citizen Kane.
Yeah. That movie, like, I'm still kind of blown away at how bad that movie ended up being. Like, you could look at the trailer and you could see the press release and be like, "Oh, this is gonna suck," but it was like a new level of shit.
Dude, my LGBTQ plus wife, after 15 minutes, was like, "We need to go." I'm like, "Well, hold on." Just hang on a second. Not me. She was like, "Fuck this! I'm done with all this feminist shit." I was like, "Just hold on a second. We gotta make content."
Oh man,
we got nowhere to be. Just sit there.
That movie was horrendous. It's not nearly on the level of all the movies we just named, but I'm not a fan of the Nightmare remake. I think it's better than some people give it credit for. Some people act like it's just shit on a stick, and there are redeeming factors about it. And I do think that Jackie R. Haley would actually kick ass if he would have had a better director and a better script. But Rob Zombie's Halloween is good after the first half. The first half I would put in the list with Black Christmas and all that.
I'll fuck the shit out of you.
Yeah. I think like worst. I think we pretty much covered the worst of the worst that I know of.
2019 Black Christmas. That's it.
Yeah. That's there. There's a Bride of Chucky replica coming out later this year. Interesting. You heard it here, people. Cody likes Black Xmas. Whispers compared to 2019. I messaged Lindsay and I put a comment on your video. I was at work yesterday. I was kind of just I usually just hit the home button on YouTube where it gives you all the recommended shit, and I usually just find something there. And I came across your old interview of Lindsay back when she was the horror.
Oh my god!
And I watched like the first 30 minutes of it while I was on lunch. And I put a comment and I messaged Lindsay at the same time. I was like, Lindsay was so happy and nice about, like, you know, and so positive about the horror community back then. Yeah. Pre-kids and pre-horror community going to shit. And it was so funny because she was just so nice and chipper and everything. And I was just like, who is this woman? This is not Lindsay. She would be tearing CP a new ass within the first 5 minutes as soon as we said something. And it was just, it was so funny to go back and see old school Lindsay, and I messaged her. She's like, I remember that.
I'm glad that video is on my channel, because it was supposed to be a horror needs a hero thing, but you know, because it didn't feature somebody else didn't want anything to do with it. So I'm glad it's on my channel and nobody else is featured in it.
I was a different person, less damaged.
Physically, literally.
Yep. Oh man, yeah, that was fun to kind of go back and just to see you guys like 5 years ago. It was like,
I think it was like hours too. I think we went like 2 or 3 hours on that interview.
Yeah, I only got a half an hour in, so it was still like the interview phase, but it was just it was funny to put it on. And I just kind of listened to it and was just smiling.
It's weird watching people like not as familiar with each other as they are. Like same thing with Emily and I. I go back and I'm like, okay.
CP, I'm going to give this question to you. Who would win in a fight, James Jude Courtney Myers or Tyler Maine Myers?
James Jude Courtney.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Barring something crazy, I've heard in kills he fucks shit up like a lot. Like a lot.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
MRJ, if you could choose one movie or movie franchise to be turned into a TV series, what would it be? I'm going to put the caveat that it has to be the same rating as the movie, because that always fucks me up whenever they're like, okay, we're going to take rated R as fuck movie and make it a PG-13 TV series on A&E. It's a good question. We got a Chucky TV series, and I don't know what the fuck that's going to turn out to be, for multitudes of reasons. I feel like you could do a cool series off the Lost Boys, like just that town, Santa Carla, and you know, the mythos of the vampires that are there. You could do that. Anything zombies is pretty much off limits because Walking Dead has fucking done it to death.
Tired.
Yeah, it's enough. Stop. I love the fact too that they're like, Walking Dead will finally come to its end at the end of next season, and we're going to start a spinoff with fucking the main characters. I did a tweet. I was like, Breaking Bad ends next year. Walt and Jesse spinoff starts the year after.
I'll invert it and say I'd like a Lost movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. I can't think that. We'll say the Lost Boys. That'll be my answer. It's hard to come up with that off the cuff. I'm sure I'll think of one later and be like, oh, shit. It's perfect. I have no idea what's happening, but I can't see other people in the chat now. This is certainly a me problem. Yeah, I still...
That's your ego talking. We call that a McCoy. And you can see nobody else but yourself.
It's been a long week that it took me like 5 seconds for that to actually land. That should have been an instantaneous giggle. I was like, a McCoy, what the fuck is he referencing? Oh.
You know, the robot from Bill and Ted.
Yeah. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is fucking brutal. Yes, let's just say that when somebody told me that Myers in Halloween Kills is potentially the most violent that we've ever seen, I brought that up. I was like, yeah, but that movie exists. And they were like, so?
Yeah.
A Nightmare on Elm Street TV series. Didn't they do that? Kind of.
Freddy's Nightmares, right?
Freddy's Nightmares. I don't know. Slasher icons are so hard to say, okay, we'll do a series because their stories kind of work well as little isolate. I mean, you could do a Friday the 13th series where every episode is just fucking somebody else up. But I mean,
it gets tired.
What narrative can you do to carry that through? Yeah, I don't know. Chat's messed up for me too. Uh-oh. Looks like YouTube shit in the bed. Yeah, I don't know. I still can't think of one. Whenever I try to think, I'm like, can't get one.
Yeah. Hey, you got to prep for this shit.
Cody, how would you react if you saw your neighbor speaking to your kids? Funny that you said that because the day that I came, the first Monday after that whole situation, because my kids stay home, the two oldest ones, because they have their online learning. And I had thought about that. I had visualized that in my head. Like, what if I drive up and see him talking to them? Or like I come home and they said, hey, the neighbor knocked on the door and said something. I'd lose my shit. I'd end up in jail, depending on the text of the conversations. If it was like, hey, when your dad gets home, tell him I want to apologize, probably would be okay. If it's just, hey, the neighbor came over and said your dad's a fuckface and then walk back across the street and be like, okay. Yeah, it wouldn't be good. Chase Ward, hey, CP, have you seen the fan film Friday the 13th Vengeance? If so, how do you feel about it? I know Cody isn't a fan.
You can watch me watch it in real time. It's on my channel. I have a live reaction where I watch
it's an hour and a half of this.
Ugh. Yeah. Oh, what? Wait, what? Wait a minute. Yeah. Spoiler, I'm not that big a fan. They have a lot of money that they kind of wasted, in my opinion. Knowing on the tail end how much money they had, it's just like, well, what the fuck did you do with it?
Yeah, that's a movie that felt like they were spitballing ideas in a room and just said yes to all of them.
Yeah, it's too many cooks. There are like too many ideas. And again, if you know a lot about Friday the 13th, there's a scene where they have Tom McLaughlin in it, who's the director of Friday 6th, and they use his ending from, like, he had an original proposed ending for part 6, and they use it in this movie, and they have Tom McLaughlin as the cemetery caregiver. I don't know what they call a cemetery dude who shovels.
Cemetery guy. Undertaker.
Yeah, Undertaker, that's it. Yeah. And it's just like, no, how is he okay with this? This is bullshit. So it hurt. It hurt Mr. Part 6 fan here watching that. But you could, if you want to waste a lot of time, or you can just fast forward to the end where I just kind of just in disbelief talk about what the fuck I just watched.
I always feel a little bit bad about bashing like fan films and stuff like that because it's like, oh, somebody made this on their own and everything. But no thanks.
Yeah, it's like I would want somebody's honest opinion. Like I've watched a lot of Friday the 13th stuff where it ranges, and you can tell when people have money, you can tell when people don't. There's stuff that people made like with apparently nothing. There's an Australian Friday the 13th movie that was kind of badass. You could tell they didn't have that much money. Money doesn't mean everything. Like I would want somebody to be honest with me, despite what I put into it, just to know where I can fix it.
Yeah. This is an interesting one. Did you play the Spider-Man PS4 game?
Was it free? No.
It will be on the PS5 if you buy Miles Morales, apparently. So Insomniac, let me see if I can find a picture for reference. Insomniac, who is the ones that made the game, PS5, the Miles Morales, which is like a side story. I don't know if it's going to be a full game or not. They're doing a remaster for the Spider-Man game that came out on PS4. You get it for free with a certain version of Miles Morales, and it's going to be remastered for PS5. And they have changed the character design of Peter Parker completely. And it kind of went off on Facebook and Twitter and everything, and a lot of the fans of the game are really pissed. What is your thoughts on a remaster game changing the design of a character? Is that equivalent to like a recasting, or is that like something where you're like, so fucking what? Who cares?
I don't really care too much. On a video game, I don't care.
Let me, okay, I should be able to download this image. Okay. There's a couple of reasons why people are upset. One, I mean, people like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They kind of take that approach, which I get. Another one that people are frustrated with is that it's very clearly, to me at least, looks like they've changed the character design to look more like Tom Holland. And then for something that is completely separate from the MCU, I think people are a little burnt out and confused at why they would do that. So I got two pictures here. One of them is the original character design, which is this one.
Okay.
And that's the guy you played through the whole game. And for the remaster, they have changed it, and now it looks like this.
It looks a bit derpier.
Well, that angle for sure. But they wanted, I guess, him to be younger to match the voice actor a little bit better. I played the shit out of that game. I never had an issue with the voice acting matching up with the character design of this. But that's a very different... That's an older college era looking Peter Parker.
James Franco.
Yeah, and they kind of, from a certain angle, I mean, I might be able to find a better picture, but
it looks derpy as fuck there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the new one.
Huh?
And that's not the best angle, so I'll be fair. But a lot of people were flipping the fuck out on Facebook and Twitter and pissed off. They're like, why the fuck would you do this? They gave, that was their excuse, was saying, hey, we wanted to make it look more, or make it feel more like a younger Peter Parker to match the voice. And I don't know. I'm not somebody that's going to be upset by it. To me, you're playing the game. Most of the fucking game, you're not looking at this character anyway. You're looking at Spider-Man. So to a degree, it's like, who gives a shit? But I do get it, because if you love something, if you played the shit out of Spider-Man, you can't wait to play it again, and they change something, here's a better picture.
Oh, yeah, much less derpy.
Yes. Yeah, so that looks very much like Tom Holland to me. As opposed to this.
Yeah.
I get it. I get the anger from some people, not enough to like, burn the streets or some shit, but I get somebody saying, okay, well, I don't really care to play the remaster now because you're changing something that I love. It's like a George Lucas thing. You know what I mean? I'm going to go back and change this because it's like, fuck you. No, don't do that. Yeah. So obviously you have no investment in it, so you don't you don't really give a shit. But
I had myself in that, like, if
I had posted it right before we went live. I was like, do I smell a delay for fan outrage? Where they go back like, okay, we're sorry, we're gonna do the first design again. But yeah, a lot of people were getting pissed about that. Did you see the trailer for the Craft?
No, we were talking about it on Monday. Like, we were talking about it's coming out, and there's no trailer. Then the fucking trailer comes out yesterday. It's just like, of course.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
No.
The trailer?
No.
I mean, I've never really been like a fanatic of the first Craft.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people think it looks like shit. I thought it looked halfway decent, but I guess it's going to be a sequel and not a remake because there's a spot where they show Fairuza Balk, like a picture of her. Huh. It's the same kind of story. New girl comes to town. There's already 3 kind of off to the side girls that aren't very social and light as a feather, stiff as a board, and it's got all the Craft stuff in there.
That is a picture of boob lube. Boob sweat leads to pearl necklaces. Oh, greatest name in the history of names. It's the avatar.
Oh shit!
Is boob lube. Winner.
I didn't know what the hell you were talking about. I didn't even see.
I'm looking at elbows in front of tits. I'm like, those are tits. I know those are tits.
Squirrel tits. Oh man. So yes, trailer looked halfway decent to me.
Aaron, give me your address. I sent you a thing on Patreon. You can have this in your collection.
Devin, it is in the video description of pretty much every video. I don't have it on me to like copy and paste it, but if you just open a video of mine and open the video description, it should be right there. It's like P.O. Box 889, Rincon, Georgia, something like that. I'm pissed about Spider-Man. See? They're real. People are real that are mad.
People exist.
Yes. Let me see. I guess the chat is fucking up for a lot of people. I can't do anything about it, guys. I'm sorry. If I could, I would.
Fall Guys. I'm not doing Fall Guys. I'll bullshit maybe, but not Fall Guys. That is the most frustrating game in the history of frustrating. Just absolute. Have you even sniffed this game, Cody?
I saw snippets of it when you and Cecil were streaming, and things were said.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, that is no longer public. Yeah, it's frustrating. Like you can have the greatest game of your life and still lose because some asshole bumps into you. It's the strangest thing. Like, I could drive a car, and if I fuck up, crash into a tree, that's one thing. I fucked up my car. But it's another thing to be like driving your car and somebody throws a tree on your car. You're like, what the fuck? That's what this game is. Like, people can seriously fuck your shit up, and it's so frustrating.
Doesn't sound like it's for me.
No, dude, I'm on anxiety meds. I cannot tolerate that fucking game.
I'm kind of in my downshift gaming mode. I get through these little moods where, like, for like 2 or 3 months, I'm like ultra gamer and I want to play everything, and then I'll have 2 or 3 months where I just don't even want to look at my PS4. I bought the Marvel Avengers game, played it for like 2 hours, immediately lost interest. I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, which was like, this is awesome and nostalgic. And then like an hour later, I didn't want to play it again. And then I just bought the Mafia remaster definitive edition or whatever they just came out with. And I just haven't had a chance to even start playing it. So yeah, I don't know, with the move coming up soon and everything, I'm probably not going to be that heavy into gaming again until November, which is right around when PS5 should be hitting my doorstep. So we'll see.
Again,
if they don't fucking cancel it. I got scared the other day because Holly called me. It's been news going around that certain retailers gave out more pre-orders than they have inventory for, so they've been canceling shit for certain people. And Holly called me, and she's like, "Hey, did you cancel the PS5 thing?" And I was like, "Oh no, why?" because we bought it with a card of hers that has some spare money on it. That's just kind of like a savings account on a card.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, I just got that $533 transaction just reversed. And I was like, oh, fucker. And I went and I opened up my email. I didn't see any email from Walmart. I logged into my account on Walmart. The order is still there as valid. So I kind of panicked for a minute. What I think happened is they charged everybody that amount when you pre-order it to make sure that you are actually legit and have the money for it. And then they reversed it, and then they'll actually pull it out when they ship it.
Or you get a free PS5. That'd be pretty tits.
Or, yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. But yeah, I got really fucking heated for like 30 seconds. I was like, motherfucker! You know what I had to do to get that? I had to refresh for like 5 minutes.
Thoughts on the Hazbin Hotel? This is the first time I've heard about this. Somebody other than my wife talk about it.
What the hell is
Emily loves this thing. I just know that Emily, it's a cartoon, right? It Hazbin Hotel, Emily.
Sure, independently produced pilot episode of animation. It just got picked up by A24, I think.
A24 to be a TV series. It's like what? It's like just a bunch of cartoon characters that are pretty fucking gnarly. Yeah, it's
condense it to 7 minutes.
yeah, no, take 100.
Inside joke, everybody. Inside joke.
Now, Emily's a fan. Go subscribe to Emily's Adventures in Horrorland. It's another plug. Again.
Oh, man. Hey, Cody, you're my favorite YouTuber. Thank you, Sharkman. What all horror classics have you seen on the big screen? None, really. If you're talking about like 80s, 70s movies, I haven't seen any of those like flashback cinemas or anything like that for any of those.
When I managed my movie theater, I ordered films. So you have to. Movie theaters, their business is popcorn and soda. Like they don't care about what the fuck's in the house. Mm-hmm. So we were having a shitty concessions week, and I worked at all we would get was like the art house stuff. And I was like, let me just do something. Let me just order something for 2 days, and we're going to put it in a small house. And if it doesn't make money, whatever. So I ordered the original print of Friday the 13th, 1980. And they shipped it to us. But the problem was it was a fucking reel from 1980. It was so whacked out of condition. It was like people were watching it and they were leaving. It was so like, I don't know. It's like if somebody left a film underwater for a decade, that's what it looked like. It just looked like warped and terrible. And so technically I saw Friday the 13th on the big screen, but it was fucked. It was really, really bad.
Yeah. The only like throwback movie that I've ever gone to the theater to see was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Ooh.
It was one weekend.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, it was one weekend where they had it, and I was like, "Fuck it!" And I took Shane. We went and saw it. But as far as like, I don't know, if you're talking about 90s movies that have become classics, I saw From Dusk Till Dawn, if you consider that a classic in theaters, opening weekend.
I saw Pet Sematary in the theaters.
I missed that one. I did not see any of the Screams.
Oh.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan back in the 90s. It took me a couple of decades to warm up to Scream.
I was ahead of the curve on that one. Me and a friend of mine went and saw Scream opening weekend. And we were like, oh, yo, this is no joke, this fucking movie.
Scream is funny to me because I was, in my age group, in my group of friends, I was the only person watching horror. And I grew up watching horror from like age 4. I knew Freddy and Chucky, and I was the shit as far as I was concerned. And then Scream comes along, and suddenly everybody thinks they're a horror fan, and like, hey, I'm a horror fan, I like Scream, and every 2/3 of the class dresses up as Ghostface, and it was like the contrarian to me. I was like, fucking poser ass fans. Fuck that movie. And so I was, for 6 years old on, I was like, fuck the Scream movies, bullshit. And so it took me till I was like 20 to watch them and be like, oh no, these are good. Get over my childhood insecurities. Oh, let's see what we got here. Da, 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 da. What movie do you want to get a 4K release? True Lies.
Oh, yeah. That since they haven't done a Blu-ray,
Yeah.
Yes, True Lies. Please, thank you.
Yes. No more Halloween, please. Every fucking 3 months. Like, have you seen the new Steelbook? I'm gonna do an unboxing tonight. Let's see.
I don't miss not being in that circle at all. Like I don't miss it
God.
at all.
I get like raindrops of it once in a while on fucking Twitter, but yeah, I'm with you. This one has a sepia tone. What horror movie would have a good open world game? Any zombie like post-apocalyptic thing I could imagine be a good.
Oh, that would be pretty neat. Yeah, sure.
Turn the wrong corner. Fuck.
Yeah.
If you could have like a Stephen King open world universe where you can go to Derry and fuck with Pennywise, and then you can go back to the Pet Cemetery house, and that would be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, just a Derry game. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. What do you guys prefer, the Grudge or the Ring franchise? I'm not really a fan of either one of them, if I can be honest.
American version or
give both answers, I guess.
Japanese, I'm going to say actually they're both the Ring.
Fuck all that, they're both the Ring.
Yeah.
I'm not really a fan of either one of them. The Ring was another one of those movies that just got way, way overhyped for me to where all of the non-horror fans in my junior high saw it and said it was the scariest fucking thing ever. And I was like, oh man. And I go into it expecting like this. And I watch it and I was like, the bitch crawled out the TV. That's it. And
I think that movie, the American version at least, like got me infatuated with the whole static. Like,
yeah.
I mean, you've used it too. Like there's this whole like interference type thing that like I love putting in editing. That movie got me so infatuated with it. I was like, oh, nothing clean. Make it look all dirty and shitty. Yes.
Yep.
Because the video is all fucking wonky and shitty.
Yeah, I never really got into the Ring. I've seen the Ring and I've seen Rings. I haven't seen the second one.
The second one's kind of shit.
I was gonna say I don't think I'm missing much from what I've heard. The Grudge, I've only seen the remake, which was horrible. We should have talked about that earlier. But yeah, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think that I would be a huge fan of the other ones anyway. But yeah, those kind of came out around the same time when suddenly Americans were like, "Oh shit, the Japanese make horror movies."
Yo, and that'll fuck around those people.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Joshua Nelson, Halloween versus Friday the 13th, which is the better franchise? You know, yeah. Loaded question. Because prior to the end of 2018, I would have said easily the Halloween franchise is better. But things change.
Fuck you, fans. Now I'm turning.
Yep, exactly. Team Jason, bitch. This is purely a me thing, but specifically because of all the bullshit that I've had to endure from the Halloween fans. And like we joked about earlier, just the constant oversaturation of Halloween conversation that we've had to endure for 3 years now. I'm burnt on the franchise for the foreseeable future. I hope at some point I can get over it and it'll calm the fuck down. But while this Halloween is the greatest thing ever craze is going on, I would be much quicker to pick up a Friday the 13th film. I think quality wise, it's hard to argue that Halloween, the original, is definitely far and away.
Halloween tries harder with their story.
Yeah, they try harder with the story. They're not. Friday the 13th knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's a B movie.
Yeah.
It's a B movie franchise that's going for a lot of gore and silliness. And yeah, it's fast food. Halloween's trying to be a little upper class. Sometimes it succeeds, sometimes it doesn't. So it just depends on your taste. I think Jason's a more badass killer. I always have. And yeah. So I don't know. I'll say Friday the 13th now as far as entertainment goes, because I don't know when I'm gonna have the desire to pop in a Halloween movie. I'm burnt. I used to watch Halloween every single October, and this last October I was like, Hocus Pocus time.
Yeah, Nightmare on Christmas, Nightmare on Elm, whatever the fuck.
Yep. Exactly. So
Nightmare
yeah, I don't know.
Christmas.
But we all know Freddy and Chucky's better than both. So what we got here? What will be your 5 first run titles you will get for your PS5? Well, I pre-ordered the Miles Morales and I pre-ordered Demon Souls. So those will be the first 2 that I have. I don't know when Ratchet and Clank is coming out, but that is going to be a day one buy for me. God of War Ragnarok, which is probably the end of next year. So I don't really know. I don't know the release order of these games.
I was gonna say, is there even 5 announced for like launch?
They've announced like 30 of them.
Oh, really?
A lot of them are like 2021 or tentatively 2022 or whatever.
Launch, right?
Yeah.
Launch
So for launch, there's like 4 or 5 games. There's Demon Souls, Miles Morales. There's the Sackboy game.
Oh,
and
Big Planet.
Something else that's kind of like a cyberpunk twisted metal type thing.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing I keep getting ads for.
Yeah.
Somebody's played like 2 minutes of it or something.
It's like All-Star Destruction or some shit like that. I really don't remember, but yeah.
It looks like like Blade Runner.
Yeah, it's like twisted metal with cyberpunk shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. God of War is the one where I saw the trailer and I was like, "Now, please." I don't know if you played God of War for PS4, but that
I have.
Ooh, that was some sexy shit. Oh, we already answered that. Cody, if you love Zack Snyder, have watched the movie Watchmen. If you haven't, do yourself a fucking favor and check it out. 5 out of 5 stars for me personally. My favorite superhero movie in my opinion. I have not seen it in a number of years, but yes, I love that movie. I've seen it. I thought it was brilliant when I first saw it. I've watched every iteration of it since, where he keeps going back and adding an extra half hour. So yeah, I really like Watchmen. That's another movie that
hypocrite.
Yeah.
This one's embossed. Oh.
Yeah.
An extra 2 minutes. Oh.
Hey, fuck you, man. No, he had one. It was like the director's cut. And then there was the ultimate cut that had like cartoon storyboards or comic book storyboards of something added into the movie to like make the story fleshed out or something. Yeah, so those are the 2 that I have. I saw Lindsay say something that I wanted to highlight. Where the fuck did it go? Oh, right here. Couldn't even watch Halloween last October. It's been tainted. A freaking 30-year tradition. Poof. Yeah.
Shake and bake.
Me and Mother Mayhem are definitely on the same page.
Yeah. Likewise. You got to highlight that shake and bake comment.
Oh, shit.
It's all caps.
I laugh, but you're not far from reality there.
No, not at all. I'm telling you, it's you guys have no idea. Like the Halloween community, I'm a piece of shit in that community. If they knew what I knew, a lot of people would be up my ass.
Mm-hmm.
Is the only thing I could say. It's kind of funny. I have a review waiting.
You're gonna look very different when it finally gets released.
Wait a minute.
Whoa. Yeah, they released a picture of a wall in Halloween Kills. Oh my god, time to make a 60-minute video. Yeah, I want to be careful because I am friends with some people that have a very Halloween centric channel, And this is not a knock on them, obviously.
Listen,
it's a knock on the thing. Yeah, I'm hating the game, not the players.
Right.
Yes. Ever since Halloween 2018, there has been a bit of a movement, if you will, in the horror YouTube community where certain channels have given their content a violent push into anything and everything Halloween. And to the extent where there will be a set photo released from a cell phone where if you zoom in and move the pixels out of the way, you can see Michael Myers' mask, and it's like, what does it mean? Theory video, bam. And it's
10,000 views within a day, just blam.
It's nauseating for that reason, and it's nauseating because it's like there's nothing here, there's nothing to discuss yet. Like we don't even have, even when the teaser dropped, and they were like, "What did you think about the teaser?" I'm like, what? There was nothing there. It basically said, "Hey guys, one more year, bitch," and it's William Fox. Hey, Cody and CP. Cody, are you going to be doing an unboxing review of the Scream Factory Friday the 13th box set? And what are your thoughts on the new face model for the PS5 Spider-Man? Well, William Fox.
Rewind.
I greatly appreciate the super chat. But yeah, we literally covered both of those for like 5 to 10 minutes each about a half an hour ago.
Friday the 13th set too, by the way. I appreciate that.
Yes, exactly. Hey, you might have yours on the way.
Perhaps, yeah. CK, you better be serious.
Yeah, he did. He left a comment later that said, "I'm going to private message you. I'm totally serious."
That's awesome.
So you might get an early Christmas gift. Yeah. But yes, I probably will do an unboxing / discussion video on it. I'm not really an unboxing guy, so I don't necessarily want to open that door too wide. But I did one for Chucky because that was a big special thing for me. Friday the 13th will be cool to do a video for. So yes, I probably will do that. And the new face model for PS5, I'm not as bothered by it as some people. I definitely think it's weird and it's unnecessary, and I get why some people are really upset about it. I would not be shocked at all if they hear fan backlash and delay the release of the PS5 remaster and just say, okay, play Miles Morales for a couple more months and then we'll fix the shit and we'll put it out in June. So we'll see.
Yeah, Tom, we know.
Spoiler, Halloween Kills finally reveals what shape Michael's is. The shape. I saw the shape. It was the shape. Well, no one's ever called him the shape, so where the fuck did you hear that?
Didn't the doctor call him that? Didn't see, now I'm forgetting the fucking his name.
No, I will be fact checked immediately if I'm wrong, but I don't believe anybody ever referred to it as the shape except for the credits. And
fans.
No
shit.
So when she says, "I saw it, I saw the shape," it was always, from the moment that happened, I was like, why the fuck would she say that? Why wouldn't she just say, "I saw him, I saw Michael"? Like I saw it. I get that, like the evil. I saw it, but the shape. Meta as fuck. We're getting a lot of those comments.
And Wham, I don't think either of us have issue with.
No. That's part of what I was referring to when I said I have friends that do a lot of Halloween stuff, and I wasn't talking about them. Wham would be underneath that umbrella. I remember somebody asked Dave McRae why he's not talking more Halloween, and his response was priceless, because there's nothing to fucking talk about. Yes. I am a fan of that. Dave is also under that umbrella. Good dude. Loomis never referred to him as a shape, so there Roger. You go. Oh, hey, yeah. What's up, Roger? I just clicked on it and read Loomis and didn't even see. The shape was what he was referred to on set, I believe. I don't think anyone ever said it. I could be wrong, but fairly sure.
Wow.
I'm pretty positive that you are correct, Blake. That's part of the reason why I'm pretty sure me and Mother Mayhem harped on that hard about that one specific scene, and I don't remember what fucking defense we heard from it. I don't even care, but I'm sure it was defended somehow. Thank you. Why hasn't there been an Elm Street box set? God damn, if that is not a fantastic question.
They're all in the same, like, it's all the same company. What is the problem?
I don't know if they're just waiting or what, but yeah, if we get a new Nightmare movie, for sure they're going to make one, but I hope we don't have to wait that long. But I've been saying that forever because Halloween got this sexy ass box set. Now Friday the 13th got this sexy ass box set. Chucky's had 2, and Freddy still has this little bullshit thrown together, half-assed fucking one clamshell.
Oh yeah,
garbage ass cover of just like this clip art.
Yeah.
No fucking special features that are new. It's just a carried over disc from the DVD set from like 2001.
Some movies share a disc. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm right there with you. You could do an incredible Nightmare set with Scream Factory with what they put into their stuff.
All right, Pete. Thank you.
What is your favorite Freddy makeup besides the original? I'm gonna say 2.
Yeah.
His makeup in 2 is pretty scary. I love the new Nightmare design, but that's obviously a heightened kind of thing. It's not like going for realism or anything like that. He looks pretty good in Dream Warriors 2. After that, nah. I mean, he doesn't look terrible in Dream Master, but it's definitely a step down. 5 and 6 can both go fuck themselves. That looks like bubblegum all over his face. And I do not like the remake look at all.
Yeah, that looked too realistic. Like
it was half CG, and
no.
That was CG too real. In that movie was just garbage. That fucking scene with that iconic thing where he comes out of the wall.
Yeah, why couldn't you do that?
He fucking used pantyhose.
Yeah, they did that. What the fuck? Yeah.
CP, what do you think of Deftones' new album?
They've done better. It's Saturday Night Wrist-ish, a little soft for my taste.
Have you listened to the new Seether at all yet?
No, I have not.
New Seether's good. Okay. I had planned on doing a review and a ranking of their albums, but shit has gotten away from me.
Same thing. See, like the thing with music, I get so close, and I'm like, am I ready to not make $1 off of this? Because I'd like to put music into it. If I'm going to go and make a video, I want something to reference. If you get a chance and time allows, maybe we'll do a stream on just Seether, and we'll talk about Seether's albums, like a compendium or something like that. If you want to give the album a shot and it inspires you to want to do more, I'd be down for that. It's already been paid for.
Yeah, there you go. William Long might be pointless because Fincher has a new flick coming this year, but he, Nolan, and Tarantino with Death Proof could have made a cool 31 on 31. Not to twist your arm. Admire both you guys. Keep up the great work. Big gulps, huh?
Did you answer that yet?
Words have been said previously.
It's kind of frightening, to be honest with you.
Yeah. We're picking up what you're putting down. Who do you all think is the scariest and least scariest out of the big 3? Scariest for me, when I try to think of scariest, it's like, who would I not want after me? Freddy would be the scariest, in my opinion.
Yeah, again, you put yourself in those shoes. You can't sleep.
Yeah.
You can't sleep.
Least scary? Probably Michael. I mean, I think of Derek Mears, Jason, and I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah,
I'll take Tyler Mane all day. Most scary Freddy, least scary Michael, I think.
Hey, if you're gonna stand there, can you take the laundry down? I know you're just hanging out in my backyard. The blankets are right in front of you. Take them down, please.
You creepy fuck. That's maybe that's why he thought I was intimidating him or threatening him, because I was just standing there ominously in the night like fucking Myers. Yeah. You know what? I have my Michael Myers mask. I should have wore it when I walked outside and just stared at him. That would have been fun. I'll do that next time.
It's a grower. Yeah, I bet it is, Blake. I've just listened to it 2 or 3 times, and it feels very Saturday Night Wrist-ish to me, which isn't, it's not a gripe. It's just
It's a grower, not a shower.
yeah, it's not Diamond Eyes. Diamond Eyes is probably my favorite album by them.
There you go. Sorry if you already answered this. If Marvel, DC, Mortal Kombat, and Capcom had a game crossover, do you think it could be cool, and would you play it? Why or why not? I mean, I'm not really a fighting game guy. I never have been. I've tried to play some of the Mortal Kombat games and everything. I get bored. I get bored with them quick. I'm a story person.
Yeah.
So if that came out, I probably wouldn't care, honestly. It's not really for me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Best 5 4K movies you've purchased or received this year so far.
Where the hell is that?
Right under Blake's comment. Right under the super
Oh,
chat.
Devin. Okay. Best 5 4K movies you have purchased or received. The Aquaman 4K looks fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The Pet Cemetery 4K, just for the artwork alone on the Steelbook and on the even on the regular Blu-ray.
It cleaned up nice, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty badass.
Casino is incredible on 4K. As is Scarface. Scarface, that's been in the last year or so.
A lot of these I have bought and I have not actually watched. I just bought because I'm like, oh, that's a kick-ass movie, and I rebuy it, and then
Casino is nice. Scarface, really, really good.
Yeah, that one cleaned up good. This is another question that's hard to do off the top of my head because I'm trying to think what the fuck I bought on 4K. Mission Impossible Fallout, I remember, looked really good. End of list, I guess. I can't think. I'll be sitting here.
It's been a weird year. 2020 is such a bizarre year.
It's very weird because I'm such a Blu-ray whore. I always buy some new shit, and I've toned it down so much because there's nothing new to buy.
Yeah,
it's just some old trickled out stuff. Like I usually a lot of times when Woody will do work for me, I'll pay him back by giving him some Blu-ray codes and stuff like that as like a little payback. And the past 2 times he's done something for me, I'll send him pictures of everything I have. He's like, I already own all those movies. I'm like, I'm sorry, there's nothing to do.
I got some navel lint. Would you like that?
Cody CP, do you guys watch Trick or Treat every Halloween?
Oh, that should be a tradition.
I have watched it a couple of Halloweens. It's not a tradition movie for me just yet, but it's definitely on the list. And now, since the obvious one is basically off the list for now, Hocus Pocus is one that I always watch. There's a lot of nostalgia for that one. Depending on what I'm doing that day, I like to throw in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. But yeah, Trick or Treat I've thrown in at least twice over the past 4 or 5 years on Halloween. I've watched Trick or Treat.
That's badass.
Yeah.
I enjoy Trick or Treat quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Let's go for 2:30. So we'll do another 17 minutes or so. Okay. That's right about the time that my
oh shit, we've been 2 hours. Holy fuck.
I know, it didn't seem like it. I looked at it, I was like, oh shit. I was about to say we'll cut off at 2, and I was like, oh, too late.
Time flies when you're selling fries.
We'll go another 15 or until Riley plows through my door, whichever one happens first. I don't know if you answered this question, but when will the 31 on 31 movie reviews come?
On the 31st of October.
Well, the 31 on 31 video, yeah. I think she's referring to the reviews. I usually review all the movies. I'm trying my best to squeeze them in. Some might trickle into November. I'm going to get the Critters ones out first because I've already watched the first 2, and those will be easy reviews for me to squeeze out because I'm not going to have... This is not telling that I don't like the movies, but there's not a lot to talk about with those. So they're going to be 11, 12-minute reviews where I could talk about Jaws for 25 minutes. So Critters will be coming for... Yeah, Critters will be coming for sure before 31, and I'm going to try to get the Jaws reviews out. So I might be dragging the 2 Predator movies that I have not reviewed and the Thing reviews, which I'm fine with the Thing reviews because I kind of wanted to do that in the wintertime anyway. So So yeah, keep an eye out for the Critters reviews. I'm probably not going to get all of them out by the end of October. If I wasn't moving, I would, but there's going to be like a week where I'm not going to be able to record or edit anything. We still got shit to unpack. Fuck you, I'm editing. The people want what they want. Does CP have any movie prop replicas? If so, what is his favorite one?
Well, you see here, that's the that recently released Halloween Halloween 3. They released 3 of those masks. That's one of them. This right here this right here is a tombstone a la Friday the 13th Part 6. It's legit. Like it's fucking cement. It's pretty fucking badass. That tombstone I brought with me to Denmark. I didn't care about the weight on the goddamn suitcase. It was coming with me.
That must have looked funny going through the little detector. Like, why the fuck do you have a tombstone?
And of course, because it's of a certain, because it's made of the same type of that C4 is. So they had to open it in front of me, and he's like, "Should I ask?" And I'm like,
Have you seen Friday the 13th?
I'm
Part
like,
6, Jason Lives?
He's like, I'm thinking it's a graves marker. I'm like, yeah, but it's like a fan thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And he had to like brush it with a wand and all this other shit. Yeah. If you want to move quickly through an airport, do not bring a
tombstone. I don't know if I have any. I have a lot of things that I've gotten from like Bambox and everything. Like I got a pill bottle from Nightmare on Elm Street for the Hypnosil.
Oh.
I have a handmade Freddy glove from Part 4 that a fan sent me that he does hand custom made.
That's badass.
From all the different movies. It's fucking awesome. I bought one from Amazon that was a Dream Warriors replica.
Yeah,
like one of the mass produced ones from like Trick or Treat Studios or something. It's pretty decent. Yeah. I thought it was badass until he sent me this one, and I was like, oh, this one's much better. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I have that. Obviously, I have the Chucky replica. I have a couple of things like the button from Drag Me to Hell, and a couple of little things, little knickknacks that have come in like Bamboxes and stuff that are kind of cool. I have the little bone ninja star thing from Jeepers Creepers 2.
That's badass. Yeah. This is also my prized piece that I don't know. I get closer and closer to selling it because it's dark times. This is a out of print figure of Tommy Jarvis and Jason struggling at the bottom of the water.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It's a Movie Maniacs thing. It's worth like $5,000. So
wow.
Yeah, it's really, really tempting to
give you $20 for it.
So
fucking Pawn Stars you. Highest I can go is 70.
Highest I can go is 12. I paid 30 for it.
Have you rewatched It Chapter 2? If so, what are your second thoughts? Have you rewatched It Chapter 2 since theaters?
No, and we're gonna have to soon anyway.
Yeah, I haven't either, and it's. I don't imagine my thoughts are going to change much.
No. Check my early 31, my first half of the 31, and I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah.
It's in the bottom half, I'm pretty certain.
Jaws 2 is actually a good sequel. I remember liking Jaws 2 growing up. I think as a kid, at some point, Jaws 2 was my favorite of the two because it showed the shark more, because I was young and stupid and just wanted to see people get ate. I haven't watched Jaws 2 in like decades, though. So Jaws 2 is going to be basically a fresh rewatch.
Yeah.
Except the only thing I remember is the way that he kills the shark. And Jaws 3, I remember seeing pieces of it on TV. Jaws 4, I've never seen. So basically that entire franchise is going to be like completely fresh for me, aside from the original. Which movie would you guys suggest for a first-time watch? The Thing or the original Pet Sematary?
Two different movies.
Both.
Yeah.
Both. Yeah. Like for very different reasons. But yeah, I don't know. If you haven't seen either one of them, stop watching me and watch that.
That's like chicken and steak. They're very different. But yeah, don't miss out on either.
I have a friend at work. He was a supervisor for me for like 6 or 7 months. So he's on another department now, but I still bullshit with him. And we connect immediately because he came in and I was like, this fucking guy, like a new boss and all that kind of shit. And then he's like, I was listening to Alice Cooper by myself in the plane working. And he's like, oh, Alice Cooper. And he started talking about metal with me. And I was like, yeah, this guy might be kind of cool. And then I talked to him later on that day and we were somehow movies got brought up. And he's like, do you like horror? And I was like, yeah, dude, I have a horror channel. I love horror. He's like, I fucking love horror movies. And I was like, are we going to be best friends? So me and him have been tight ever since, and we bullshit a lot. And last week I was talking with him about, he had watched my top 10 scariest movie moments. And we were talking about some of those movies. And I was trying to remember what I put at the top. And I was like, maybe I put The Thing at the top. And he's like, I've never seen The Thing. I was like, and I get scared whenever it's like a movie like that I hold in such high regard, because I think if you've never seen it before, there's that chance that it just doesn't have the same effect. So he told me he was going to go home that weekend and watch it. And then on Monday I came in and he was talking with somebody and I walked by and he's like, hey, I watched The Thing this weekend. I'll catch up with you later. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Oh, no.
And then I caught up with him. He ended up really liking it. He didn't blow his load over it, but he really liked it. And I was very, very nervous because there's some movies that I think are incredible that he's like, that movie sucks ass.
It happens. It happens to everybody.
He hates A Quiet Place. He hates Halloween 3. And there was a couple others that I was just like, how do you not like this? He's a huge Friday the 13th fan, and I think it's not his favorite movie, but he has a lot of fandom for the 5th one. And Roy, he's a big Roy. I think he has a Roy tattoo, so he's
tattoo.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I give him shit all the time. Every time he tries to shit on a movie that I like, I start talking trash about part 5.
Yeah, that's such an that's the definition of irony. Such a non-permanent character.
I think he had said like he was watching my 31 on 31, the first one that we did with all three of the big 3, and he's like, yeah, I was watching it. He's like, then you started talking shit about New Beginning, and I just started skipping through. And I was like, hey, are you fucking up my watch time?
Just let it play through. Go get a beer or something.
Cody and CP, who do you think has the worst looking makeup for a horror villain? My vote is Vic Crowley. It's not a good look, that's for sure. I think it's intended to be kind of shitty, but yeah. Have you seen the Hatchet movies?
Not all of them.
What are the ones you have seen?
The first 2.
Okay.
Isn't there 4, 3, 4, 6?
4. That's a painful franchise. I like the first one. When I first saw it, I thought it was shit. And then years passed, and then I watched it again to review it, and I was like, it's kind of fun. And then I rewatched it again, and I can have fun with the first one. It's not a good movie, but it's got enough of that intentional shitty slasher movie fun in there that I can enjoy it. 2 I thought was garbage. 3 I thought was more tolerable garbage. And then the 4th one came out, and holy shit.
All right, well, put it against the first 4 Wrong Turns.
I have only seen the first Wrong Turn.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, don't ruin that. You're in good shape.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
Well then
remember when we almost put we almost put Wrong Turn in the second 31 on 31 and we switched it for something else. I had
Brian
rewatched.
seems to have a very weighted opinion, and I think that's going to change next year because this Critter's bullshit.
Yeah,
I haven't spoken up once, and I think next year is going to be my year. Sorry, Brian. It's Wrong Turn and Hellraiser time.
Fuck it, I'm suffering through it just to make you suffer. Yeah, I had bought the box set for Wrong Turn whenever we were seriously considering that being part of it, and I rewatched the first one, and I always liked the first one.
Good. Yeah.
And I rewatched it, and I was like, I still like it, but it's not as good as I thought it was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's way downhill from here from what I've heard. Like, there's no peak after 1 from what I've heard. It's yeah. Like usually there's like one that people are like, well, that one's kind of fun though. Like you get to part 4 is kind of good.
Yeah.
No, like I've never heard a single person say anything good about any of the Wrong Turn sequels. And so Yeah, I'm dreading whenever we start running out of shit. We're like, oh, wrong turn and fucking sleepaway camp.
One of the Freddy's is really is Freddy 6. The makeup's kind of shit. If I'm being
5 and 6, it's bad.
Yeah,
5 and 6, they're kind of equally bad. They're like bubblegum. That's what I call it. It's weird. There's no scare factor to it whatsoever. It looks like plastic on his face. Yeah.
I don't like Jason in part 7 when he breaks through the mask and he opens
Skeleton. Too much for you.
Yeah, he looks silly after the first one. It's like, oh, what the fuck? What is that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There is a Hellraiser movie that I haven't seen it, but I've seen pictures on memes. The first movie that they recast Pinhead looks ridiculous.
Okay.
So there's that. Let's find another one here.
I'm new to your channel, apparently.
Yep, brand new.
Brand.
Testing this guy out, giving him a shot. Victor Crowley, Hatchet 4 is total garbage. Yeah.
Oh.
See, it's a movie that was made in secret and it was released kind of quickly in secret. And I thought maybe because they had a restricted budget, it might be more fun or to the point or something like that.
Who's Crowley? Is it still?
It's still Kane Hodder. They had Felissa Rose in the movie. They had one of the Impractical Jokers in the movie. And the dude from Impractical Jokers is the best actor in the whole film.
Oh.
And it was rough. That was a review series where I was like, fuck, no more. Please, no more. It's enough. Enough. It was right around the time that Jeepers Creepers 3 came out too. So it was just like, fuck me in the face.
Yeah,
everything.
Dude, speaking of go fuck yourself, that movie.
Yeah. Do you guys still have all of your old consoles?
No.
I have my PS3 and my Xbox 360. I'm sure either in a box somewhere or at my parents' house, you'll find a PS2 and a regular Xbox. Beyond that, no. My parents like to get rid of a lot of my shit as I was growing up. If I stopped playing my N64 because I was playing the shit out of PS2, they'd be like, oh, well, we're giving this away. And as a kid, you don't think ahead. You're like, oh, okay, whatever. Where like my adult self would be like, the fuck you are. And then, I would love to have one of those rooms where I just have all the consoles on a shelf somewhere.
There's gamer YouTubers that have that shit. It's like, all right.
Yeah. Planned ahead, motherfucker. Good job. Joshua Nelson, which series would you dread to review the most? Hellraiser or Wrong Turn? Also, will you ever review the Exorcist movies? Next year, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing the Exorcist franchise. That's all I'll say. I would dread...
There's more
Hellraiser movies, but the first Hellraiser is fucking awesome. I would probably.
The second one's pretty good too, isn't it? Isn't the second one pretty good?
It's weird as shit. I've seen the first 4 Hellraisers, and I've seen the most recent one, Judgment. 1 is awesome. 2 is interesting. A lot of people really like it. For me, it's a little bit too weird, but it's still watchable.
Yeah, I have 1 through 3 in this house, and I have yet to get around to
3 is like very much goofy slasher movie with Pinhead thrown in there. There's like a dude that shoots fucking CDs and everything. That one was kind of like not really enjoyable, but you could just watch it and be like entertained by it. And 4 was where it really started to get silly, and there was like time travel, or not time travel. There was time jumping, and it was in space and shit. And I've never seen any of the others. And I think there's like 5 or 6 more. So yeah, Hellraiser would be more of a bitch because that's like 11 movies, 10 movies. Wrong Turns like 5 or 6.
6.
So yeah, probably would be. I would dread reviewing. I would dread reviewing either one of them. But Hellraiser would.
Hellraiser's longer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the longer cut.
Tyler, I'm in New York. Yes. United States, New York, most of my life.
10 Hellraiser movies. There you go. It's funny. I left a comment on the X's video where he ranked the Hellraiser franchise back whenever everything was cool, and I was like, I'll never have the interest in reviewing this series, was part of my comment. and there was somebody that fucking went off on me and just bashed me and said, you know, what the fuck, you should be doing that. And then I keep getting notifications for like the past month of people responding to it. It's kind of funny. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, I still got to review that series. A Wishmaster review series. Have you seen any of those?
No. The first one when it came out, because that was 90s, right?
Yeah.
So I was a teenager back then. I was in horror. Okay. And
yeah,
it's the right noise for that.
They got me when I was a kid, because whenever Wishmaster came out, it was like Wes Craven Presents, right?
Oh, right.
Like he was a producer. So I thought Wes Craven made it. So I thought Robert Englund was going to be in it. And it was going to be like some Freddy shit. And I watched it, and I don't remember anything about the movie, but I remember as a kid, I was like, the credits rolled and I was like, fucking bullshit. There wasn't anything that I wanted in that. And I never saw any of the others. I think they get really B-movie after the first one. But no, never seen any of the Wishmasters except for that scattered memory of the first one. See, the big ones in the 90s were Wishmaster, Leprechaun, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Candyman. I still need to review the third Candyman. I'm going to review that before the new one comes out.
Yeah, I was thinking we were
anywhere
shelving that too for when the remake comes out. I was pretty sure wasn't that the original plan was to put Candyman in this one, and that's why we have. I don't know. I'm talking.
The plan to make plans when we were thinking ahead was that Michael Myers was going to be returning, and Candyman was going to be coming out, and so when Halloween Ends came out, we were going to have both of them in there. But now the time's all fucked up, so who knows? We're going to have a new Scream, a new Candyman, and 2 new Michael Myers movies, and then God knows what else. So by the time Halloween Ends comes around, we might be reverting back and doing slashers again. Brian better fucking hope that there's not another Texas Chainsaw before then. That's all I'll say.
Yes, Tensa. Very, very, very wide open and available. And desperate for the money, so go ahead and
yes,
hit me
please.
up.
All right. Oh, 232. All right, we'll do 2 more. Does your Jaws hat mean a video for it is inbound? You're very perceptive there, Joseph.
Oh, Sky. That's a good question. Thoughts on the Tales of Crypt?
What are your guys' thoughts on Tales of the Crypt, and would you be interested in a reboot with a non-cheesy Crypt Keeper? I don't have a whole lot of experience with Tales from the Crypt. I did not watch it as a kid.
I
watched Demon Knight like 2 years ago for the first time.
That's different. It's not the same.
I know, it's different. I really liked it though. Demon Knight. I did not like Bordello of Blood. I didn't even get through it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm the worst person to ask because I have no experience with it. It was like adult Goosebumps, right? There was just like different horror stories.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah. And I'd need to see it before I could say so, because it's just so iconic, that Crypt Keeper.
We're gonna end on a laugh.
Hold your breath.
Wow. Somebody is new to our channel, aren't they? All right. On that note, speaking of dead air, on that note, we're going to head out, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out. This was actually a much bigger stream than I thought it was going to be. I kind of intended dead air just to be kind of like us bullshitting and hanging out, and that's what it ended up being. But a lot more people seem to be entertained by it than I thought, so I'm pleasantly surprised. So you'll see us again soon. Maybe we'll do the Seether thing, or maybe we'll just find something crazy will happen to one of us, and like, fuck it, we're talking about grocery store rants. So we'll see. Oh yeah,
chip my fucking tooth.
Oh no, we'll talk about that next. So yes, thank you guys for watching. Keep your eyes peeled. CP, what do you want to plug?
Tomorrow. Now, if you're a patron on my channel, who would like that for Requiem for a Dream? If you're not, just wait couple hours. It'll be live on the 1st.
There you go. I'm going to have this weekend. I'm going to get 1 or 2 of the Critters reviews out for sure. So I'm going to have those. I'm going to have my review for The Haunting of Bly Manor out on Monday. It comes out on Friday, I believe, on Netflix, but I'll have it out early. So that'll be coming up. Beyond that, I do have a Patreon pick video that I have neglected to get to, which is going to be top 10 sequels that are better than the originals. And then they'll be a new month. So then they'll have another pick right around that. And they love their top 10. So it'll probably be another top 10. And then it's just going to be the road to 31 on 31, whatever I can get done in between moving and packing and all of that craziness. So
only 1 month away. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. It's coming up quick. I felt like I had all the time in the world. Now I'm like, oh, shit, it's here. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, see ya.